It's going. It's really good. It's really good.
Thanks for such a warm intro. Warm welcome, Bren. You're the best. And let me just say, your mom is so much more hip than any other mom I know of. Much hipper than my mom. So you're doing great, Mama Lisa.
Yeah. Mama Lisa is amazing. Doing great. Doing awesome. Hello, Mango. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you here. Mama Lisa is definitely as the kids would say, lit. She got it. She knows what's up. I mean, she learned Twitch to be able to support me, so I definitely got. I'm very fortunate for that.
That's dedication. My mom says, "You're doing what on what website?"
Is that the Facebooks?
Is that the book face? It's the book face.
It's the book face.
That's all the parents do. They have to reverse the words. But I also just want to take a second to thank my community for showing up. So thanks, guys.
For sure. Awesome. I see Mello just joined us too. What's up, Mello? How's it going? Good to see you.
Mello, what's going on?
Hello, Mello. We'll start off right off the bat. We have this game we play at every single start of the stream. It's called Quick Questions, and maybe you've never been here. Maybe you're someone for the amazing Andy stands who have joined us today. This is the first time you've ever seen Connections. Well, this is how you play Quick Questions. We have a little intro for you. Oh, you're already holding me. That's lovely. If you direct your eyes...
I just gotta fix the camera.
If you direct your eyes to the screen, this is how you play Quick Questions. There is going to be 10 questions that I'm going to ask you. You, the guests, are going to have 60 seconds to answer every single question. And for every 5 seconds that's left on the clock, the viewers are going to be gifted 1 sub each. So, do we just have a moment? Yeah, really, B. I think we did just have a moment. I'm blushing. Is it hot in here? Oh my goodness. All right, well, so this is Quick Questions. I'm going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and we're going to ask you question by question. I know you've been in chat before for this, so I have switched up a couple questions so you can't speed round me on this and drain my...
Is the goal to go as fast as possible?
Correct. The goal is to go as fast as possible.
The goal is to drain Bren's wallet. I got you.
I mean, hey, you don't have to, but yes, it is. So no, I mean, there's no big pressure on you. However, the community of your amazing community and my community might be a little bit disappointed if you don't rack something together. You wouldn't be the first one. I'm just saying. So, Andy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, chat. Please spam that love if you are ready. I need to know. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to bug Andy about every single answer that he gives? That is a good point, Ace. You have to answer something that would relate to the question. So keep that in mind. It cannot just be yes to every question. Exactly.
I get it. Short essay answer. I got you.
Gotcha. Exactly. And I will ask you after the reasons as to why, so don't feel like you have to explain it right off the bat. We will ask after. I see that chat's ready. I'm ready. Andy's ready.
Wait, how much am I supposed to explain it then?
You're supposed to give like point form, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay.
At least 3 sentences right. Lead. Yeah, please explain your answer.
Right. I got you.
I was kidding. So I will put the timer on the screen, and I will ask the first question. Hello, Brax. Welcome to chat. I see you hiding in there in the sending love. I will ask the first question. After I ask that first question, when you complete the answer, I will continue on to the next one. Alrighty. So we will start. Right.
You're a master of suspense. I learned this in Who Are You?
Damn it. Okay, he knows my tricks. All right, let's just run it. Okay, so started calling the clock. First one, favorite word.
Happy.
Favorite food.
Rice.
Favorite drink.
My favorite drink is water.
Favorite number.
7.
Favorite movie.
My favorite movie is Into the Wild.
Favorite memory.
Oh my god, I don't have an answer lined up for that one. Um, the first time one of my streams was popping.
Favorite vacation you've ever taken.
My favorite vacation was probably out to Lake Tahoe, Nevada.
Favorite animal.
My favorite animal is penguins.
Favorite family tradition.
My favorite family tradition is probably just spending the holidays together.
And favorite gift you've ever received.
Um, Favorite gift I've ever received. Probably just this necklace because I wear it every day.
Okay. You unfortunately did not beat the clock. That's okay.
Ugh.
Everyone's like, no subs. However, chat, don't be too discouraged. We will possibly be having a giveaway later. Just saying. Hang out and wait until we do two truths, one lie. We might be able to get a little giveaway. We might be giving away a gift card for Steam or PlayStation Store or Xbox. So I'm just saying, don't be discouraged. There's still ways to win things. However, this is not where we're gonna get it. However, we're still gonna go over every single one of them. Starting with the first one. You said the favorite word was happy. Oh, thank you, Brax. Brax giving out a free sub to Jamsy. And to Jamsy,
there you go.
A lovely new friend. Thank you, Brax, for gifting that tier 1 sub to Jamsy. You're too nice. Thank you for stopping in and for gifting a sub. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. So you said happy was your favorite word.
Yes. There's probably other words that I like more just based on like the sound, but if we're talking about meaning, then it'd be that one. I think it's probably hella cliche that I answered that, but I just think that's the purpose of life, and that's something I realized when I was younger. You know, people I think search for a greater purpose. I don't necessarily think there's a greater purpose, but I do think our purpose is to find our happiness, and we all have short lives, so I think that's all we can do with it.
For sure. What is
my goal is to make you cry early during the podcast?
Me?
But no.
Oh, well, hey.
Well, no. With just being so touching, Bren. I mean, you've touched my heart.
Aw. Well, hey, you're getting close now. Thank you, Ray, for the tier 1 gifted sub. You're too sweet. Oh my goodness, we already got a hype train started. You guys are nuts. Thank you so much.
It's because I failed the test. And I took longer than I was always slow on tests. They give me extra time, and I was like, I remember talking about the SATs with my chat, and I was like, that was like a 6-hour test, and everybody was like, that's a 3-hour test, and I was like, oh, I forgot I got given extra time for tests. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You said your favorite food was rice. What about rice? Is it just because I don't know, personally, rice just goes with everything. But explain.
Oh, exactly. But I grew up, I'm half Thai and half Italian, and I grew up with that very much like the Asian culture influence in my home because my mother, she moved here when she was 3 with her mother from Thailand. And she just raised us with rice at every meal. And I don't know, it's kind of a necessary staple for me. Any meal is made better with a little rice. And I think some of my favorite foods that I found in New York have been rice-based dishes. I don't know. It's just the perfect side, you know?
That's fair. That's totally fair. Rice is perfect. Like you said, goes with literally anything. I was gonna say no one else sub because we were at 69, but Ion was like, nah. Thank you, Ion. Thank you, Ion, for that Ion, sub
you
as well.
A king.
You are a king. That is true. Favorite drink you said was water, which I mean, hey, healthy, great. Why water though?
No, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just a baby. Everything else upsets my stomach.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Like carbonation bothers me, and I'm lactose intolerant. So it's like, yeah, why don't you just drink milk or water, guy? Because I can't drink milk or anything else. But yeah, I don't know. I've just always preferred water. It's my go-to. I don't really drink alcohol. Maybe like some Gatorade or some juice. Someone get me a Capri Sun. But let's just stay healthy. It's probably the only healthy thing I do. But We'll keep it that way.
That's fair. That's fair. Favorite number? I missed this one. What was the favorite number? You said?
Oh, 7. I just think that's lucky number 7. I don't know why, but it's always been the lucky number that I thought of when I think of a lucky number. I guess people have others, but I don't know.
Does that relate to any sports numbers or like a birth date or anything like that?
Not a big sports guy. Can't say I know of anyone's birthday that falls on a 7 either, although someone from my community will probably be like, hey, that's my birthday. You should have known that. But no, that one doesn't have too much big meaning behind it.
Okay. Thank you all, by the way, for getting to a hype train level 2. You guys are nuts. Thank you to Malty also for the 100 bits too. I know I realize I missed that as well. If anyone's birthday is on the 7th, let me know. Favorite movie? You stumbled on this one a little bit. What did you end up saying?
Oh, Into the Wild.
Into the Wild. Good movie.
I often think of movies and I'm like, people ask favorite movie and I'm like, I don't know. I remember like something I liked in high school, but then I'm like, wait, I know this. It's Into the Wild because I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's just about like adventure and like this guy going out to live all alone in like the Arctic wilderness after a long journey and kind of just discovering that like human companionship and connections. I said the name of the game, so everyone has to drink. But is like, you know, where real happiness is found. And I really agree with that. So yeah, inspiring movie.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Favorite memory? You really struggled in this one. This one, I could tell you were stumbling. So I wasn't paying attention because I wanted to make sure that I continued on to the next one as fast as we can. Trying to get you those points if we could, but unfortunately couldn't get there. But you said, what was your favorite memory? You said was it something about stream?
I said it was the first time that my stream started to like really pop off, I guess. But I mean, I struggled with that one because you said that, and it's very open ended. I mean, any moment in my life, I don't know. I mean, I've had good moments. I try not to compare them. They just kind of go down as another good moment. But for sure, this year has been filled with a lot of amazing memories of just the times that I've met new people, made such progress in content creation and doing Twitch. And, you know, it'd be hard to name any one of those moments just because, again, I have like a whole group of new and amazing friends this year and people that I've met who are close to me. I never could have seen coming and I haven't seen in the last like 4 years of my life. So it's all become one great memory.
That's really cool. That's really awesome. Cold as Ice, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Good to see you here. Fastest dab. It's not that fast, but I'll give it to you. The favorite vacation you've ever taken. I can't remember what you said in this one. What was that one for?
Okay. So for this one, I said a trip I took out to Lake Tahoe, Nevada. This was back in junior year of high school, and I went out there on a a friend of mine's family trip. And we went to snowboard. And for me, not having traveled too much in my life, because my mother is afraid of planes, much like myself, but more so than myself, we didn't tend to fly many places. So this was kind of one of the furthest places I'd been and the most different landscape. And the snowboarding was the best I've ever done. It was just a great trip and a chance for me as a little 17-year-old to like really feel like, fuck, like I'm alive right now. I'm on top of a mountain and I can barely breathe.
That's cool. That's really awesome. That sounds like a great trip.
Yeah, it was great.
Your favorite animal? What'd you say for that one?
I said penguin for this one. I don't think much about having a favorite animal, I think. I just, you know, when I was little, I remember that penguins were my favorite animal. I have a couple penguin stuffed animals somewhere in a closet back at my parents' house. I don't know. They're cool. They're cute. They just kind of chill out all day. They made movies about them, one of which is just penguins walking. Like, they're just that cool. You know, all you gotta do is watch them walk.
That's cool. And I think also Brax, who was our last guest on here, said the same thing as you. if I remember
No
correctly.
way.
Yeah, which is kind of
She also
interesting.
said penguins.
Yeah, it's
That's
kind
funny.
of funny because I think that's the only two times we've ever had penguins too, and it's been back to back guests. That's really funny. You said your favorite family tradition was just kind of getting together for the holidays, and so obviously I know you just had your friendsgiving,
Hmm.
and wait,
Yeah,
sorry.
Brax knows what's up.
So I just read something on chat. I think I'm in trouble. Mom, I don't know why you're blocked on Twitter. I just tried to follow you. I'll that must have been a high school thing I must have done because that is not from recently.
Oh
I
no,
will change
Brent
that
cannot
after.
hide those tweets
Really
about
though,
mom.
really though, I was probably complaining about teenage angst things back in the day. Um, Malty, if you can, please remind me to make sure that I actually that I block Mama Lisa because that's the only way I can think of it being it. Friends in trouble. Yo, stop. Um, yeah, sorry. So the family tradition, and I think that's a good one. Like I think that is something that is like a big memory of mine the is like hanging out with family and like spending time on like the Christmas season or any holiday season really, and just spending it with family is really something that sticks with me too. Um, the
Yeah, I
favorite
mean
gifts.
that.
So go for it.
Oh no. Just no. I mean that one was just because like I lived out in Colorado briefly, and when I was there, I didn't come home for the holidays, and that kind of made me realize how important to me that was. Because without spending the holidays with family, it just doesn't feel like the holidays, at least for me.
That's fair. I mean, it's true. It's not the same without family. Um, Bira says Friendsgiving has really gone down as one of my all-time favorite memories, man. That's awesome. That's really awesome, Bira. Um, one day I'll come out to New York and spend the
Hope you do, Bren.
American Friendsgiving with you. I probably won't be able to
Right, you
spend
guys got
Canadian.
Thanksgiving a month early.
We do exactly. And then the favorite gift you've ever received, you said the lock that is on your thing. I find it really cool. I think that's one of the coolest necklaces I've ever seen. So I definitely see why it's a favorite gift. Who is that given to you by, and why is it so special to you?
The person who's given to me by has nothing to do with why it's my favorite. It's just physically like my favorite piece of jewelry I have. It was given to me by an ex, but the things were that ended quite poorly and regrettably, and it has no connection to that whatsoever to me personally. But otherwise, like I just can't think of what else it's been that has been gifted to me and has had significance. I just know the lock has kind of become a I don't know, a trademark of my style. Like it's my favorite piece of jewelry. I wear it all the time, and I know when people like draw pictures of me, sometimes they include this necklace. So
Or the personality
yeah,
at this point. So that was quick questions. Unfortunately, we didn't get any subs, but that doesn't mean that everyone's leaving with nothing today.
I'm
There might be
sorry, I'm
something later.
terrible.
um,
Thanks, Mama Lisa. I know, right?
it
Brent, I
is
want to
amazing.
fix my camera one more time, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna just
Oh,
grab the
yeah,
camera.
go for
again.
it.
Warning you now.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
We did get a sub from Brax. We also got a sub from Ion. We also got a sub from Ray. So I mean, there were still subs. That's true. That's very true. Hashtag acknowledge Brax. Exactly. Um, wait, Brax, don't do it. Um, thank you, Brax. Oh, it's the melon. No way. What's up? Thank you, Brax. You're too sweet. Brax wild. Yeah, Brax really is wild. Um, well, which continues me on to my questions that I have for you. Which is what made you want to begin streaming? What was like the day where you're like, okay, I'm gonna click the go live button. I'm going to start doing this. This is what I want to do. Start.
all right. Well, first off, I just want to say, Brent, I think you picked a great topic because you know how passionate I am about this. I'm sure that was not too hard to come up with, but I'm very happy to talk about it with you on here as a fellow content creator. Um, so I, by profession, am a photographer. That's what I've been in school for the last 4 years.
Mhm.
I have my mixed feelings about the photo industry. But for one, I had started my first ever full-time job doing photography at it was a corporate, it was an office job, a 9 to 5. And I hated that. I absolutely hated that. Showing up the same dreary place every day, the same people. It was just always like dead silence in the office. It was just, there was nothing about that was a positive experience for me personally. Um, and upon leaving there, I had someone tell me that they thought my work was really great and that I should really do something for myself. I could do better. And to me, somehow this translated to me finding a way to turn my knowledge of like visuals and something else I'd be passionate about into a career. And somehow that led me to streaming, which I had considered before, but never really thought of as a serious possibility. Until I kind of like looked deeper in the internet and just saw like other content creators, saw kind of a glimpse of like the life, or at least what you could see from the outside, and how they were making a living doing that. And streaming just seemed to be my answer. It was like, I love video games. That's never changed my whole life. When I wanted to be an actor when I was younger. And I had this knowledge of visuals, and somehow this is what I put together. When I decided it was finally time to actually do it, I was like, well, there's no time to lose. um, and I guess I kind of put that crunch on myself, but I started actually streaming back in January, and I hadn't had much experience on Twitch because the way this idea all came together, I was pretty much completely new to Twitch when I started streaming. Hadn't even seen any live streams, and I was just like, bet I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna click go live, and no one's gonna come through, but that's okay because I'm still nervous as hell. And definitely for the first like 3 months, it was super nerve wracking. But yeah.
Okay. So you've had a bit of like elongated start, if you will. You've had it. You said that you were kind of inconsistent at the beginning. Then when you got really consistent, you figured that it was like, this is go time. And I think, like I've said to you before, I think the sky is the limit for you, because I think you are doing something that's very different and very interesting. I do not have time, period. But when I see your live, I will go out of my way to see it because I'm interested to see kind of what you're doing. And I think you've got a lot of interesting things that you're doing on your channel. For instance, one of the things that I think is like amazing is your storytime channel redemption. I think that's really like a really creative idea, and it helps a lot of people. I know that there is the smallest bean, if I'm right, if I'm correct, comes in every single night, and
Yes.
just for the story times. And I think that's something that's so interesting to me. Yeah, no, I think it's just like it's a really creative idea that I think that's just one of many that I think you've definitely got kind of nailed down quite well.
Thank you, Bren. You've been very genuinely supportive, more than almost anyone I know, and that has meant a lot to me. The amount of times you've told me you see something in what I'm doing, and that feedback, it's just invaluable to me. So thank you, Bren. And I'm sure that all of this is going to go many places as well. Bren, your showmanship is unmatched. I see it from no one else. The professionalism, and just you put together intros for everything. It's like, dude, you're going to be hosting a show one day, and I just hope I can be a part of that.
Hey, for sure. As I said, I'm investing in Andy, so
and I'm investing in Bren.
There you go. And
Bren Coin, to be exact.
Don't tell anyone. Don't get sued, okay? But yeah, no, I think as far as the mods, it drives the mods crazy how many intros I have. But I don't know, I like them. But yeah, I'm glad. Thank you. For that. I appreciate that very much. And I think anyone who's been able to spend a few minutes of time hanging out in here, whether it's lurking or whether it's chatting, that also shows a lot of support too. And I'm sure you feel very feel the same.
Yeah,
you feel the same as me, where someone just hanging out and spending a little bit of time is definitely a similac. That's definitely not. I feel like that's not it, Bira. It's okay. We'll leave it. Same as me. Semantics, yeah. And where it's like they could do so many things and they decide to hang out with us, and that's really cool. That's really, really cool. Financially supporting or not, I mean, truly to me does not matter. It's really the fact that time is something that you cannot get back. Money does come and go, but time does not. And the decision that someone has made, right? The decision that someone's made to be able to spend time with me is very cool to me. Even for 2 minutes, 10 seconds, or whatever it is they've decided that they want to spend it with us. So that's really cool. So thank you to everyone here. Um, Going on to the next question is, what is the TLDR version of your life? What is the start from little Andy to now the Andy we know and love, Andyrighteous on Twitch? What is that kind of coming of story? How does that go? We're filling little spots for me there.
You want the it all started when I was born?
Sure, if you have that.
No, I mean, growing up, like I said, had wanted at one point to be an actor. Realized that was a little bit impractical as a child. But I struggled a lot with making friends and with anxiety when I was younger. It was pretty rough until like getting through middle school and high school. But after that, just trying to pick what you want to do forever. I mean, first of all, it may be off topic, but I just want to say I think it's such a jarring experience when you go from every day is planned out for you until like 3 p.m. It's like, I don't know, whatever high school hours were. And then all of a sudden you have all the time in the world. And they're like, honestly, do whatever you want. And you're like, what do you mean? What do I want? And for a lot of my friends, I think it's been a struggle for them to figure that out. And some of them I know still haven't, and I try to help them with that. But people really do have to figure that one out for themselves. I at first thought maybe I want to I knew my parents wanted me to go into something quote unquote lucrative or a safe option. And so I tried to follow suit in that and do something in merchandising or marketing. And I realized that those courses were just so dry and not for me. And as much as I like the psychological aspect of marketing and, finding that way to connect with people through like communications, I was like, this is just, it doesn't speak to me. And when something doesn't hit my passions, it just is very hard for me to do well with it. And so, eventually I went out to Colorado to live with a friend for a year, to work at a ski mountain there and take some community college classes while I was out there. But really just to have the experience of moving away from home. I had never lived away from home, and I just packed up my car and we drove 30 hours across the country, seeing so much that I've never seen before. And that was definitely a very incredible experience for me. And that feeling of being on the road and seeing something new every day and going somewhere that is unlike anywhere you've ever lived, was really an incredible experience. But in that, I kind of found what I currently pursue as a career, which is photography, and realized that's what I wanted to do, even if it wasn't the, quote unquote, like safe option. There was still a way to make a career out of it and be happy with what I'm doing. And for me, that's always been like the number one most important thing, is being happy with what you do, because, well, unfortunately, most of us will have to work our whole lives. But I think the goal really needs to be to find something that you don't feel like is work, that you can look forward to going to every day. I've had, non-significant, but, little retail jobs and stuff like that where the people I worked with and things I was doing, I just enjoyed so much that I never like dreaded a single day of it. I was never like, oh, damn, I have to go to work tomorrow. It was always totally fine. It was like, I'll go to work and it'll be chill and we'll have a good time, make some memories, and then do whatever after. And that feeling for me was something I hold on to very tightly because it's what I'm seeking in a career. And so, then I came out to New York City, where I currently live, to go to school for photography. And that has also been quite an experience, being so closely involved with the art world, and meeting as many people as I have, seeing the way that New York is with the atmosphere and the attitude. And it's very different. And that's one thing I certainly noticed as well across the country, is just that, you come from a very different attitude on the East Coast where I live than people in, the middle of the country, or like Colorado where I lived briefly. We're like sharks here. We got to keep moving. It's like I know I only feel good when I'm making progress on something or like working towards something. But personally, I found that in New York and in what I'm doing with my content creation, and through my time at school and seeing the photo industry is kind of how it's led me to be like, you know, a lot of my teachers in school, I think, come from an older generation of the photo world when things were a different way in terms of how you had to make a living. And nowadays, with kind of, the internet and social medias and everything else that's available to us, there's a lot of different ways to make a living. I mean, hell, there's people on YouTube making a living by doing slime videos. Like, you can make a living doing almost anything if you're creative enough with it. Um, and that's kind of a big part of what motivated me to say, I want to take these skills that I have learned and make my own career, my own life out of it.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was longer than you wanted or.
This show is made for tangents, so feel free to go
All
on
right.
as long or as short as you want. Hey, like, all I ask is that the TLDR thing doesn't go an hour. So I mean, you stuck within that hour, so you're good. Yeah, no, I think it was good. Like I think there's a lot, obviously a lot of parts in there. It's I see kind of from your past and learning a little bit about you, kind of from what you said, is it goes from feeling a little bit of anxious within school, coming out of school and being lost without the structure, finding a kind of who you are question mark is was kind of like the that next part, to then, which I think really led you probably to Colorado, is kind of what I'm getting, is that kind of look for, okay, maybe I'm gonna find that in Colorado. Going from Colorado to then, finding that you have that experience, you've kind of gotten, a little bit of jobs in whoever or in wherever, kind of meeting some people and things like that, and then being inspired somewhere along there within photography, and then going to kind of New York to try and follow that passion and learn that passion better, and really kind of learning the culture of New York, which I mean I think most people will know that it's nothing like it in the whole world. It
I
is
mean, it's a
definitely.
double-edged sword. It ain't always pretty,
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah.
oh definitely. No, I think it's a very different culture, and it's very interesting to me. Like obviously, my head mod Donovan on my team, is also from New York, as you know, and it's just so interesting the culture shock that him and I are totally not used to. It's this very different, which is hilarious to me. And yeah, no, I think it's you did a really good job on the TLDR. I'll give you A+ marks for those ones, Andy. Um,
Thanks.
Nothing against that one in the slightest. Um, I'm gonna ask a question of the day to you, but I'm gonna switch it a little bit. So it's gonna be a little bit different from what everyone else is being asked. So obviously the question of the day is, what is something that's on your bucket list? However, the question that I have for you is, what are 3 things that are on your bucket list?
Brendan, this is such a tough question for me because I try not to think morbidly like that. I think I have enough negativeness in my brain already. So I don't like to think about like what do I have to do before I die, because then I'm like, well, fuck, I'm losing time. Um,
That New
I
York, it's
mean,
that New York background of you. If you're not progressing fast enough, go.
yeah, right. It is. It is. We're like sharks. If we're not moving, we're dying. That's what's happening. Um, Uh, I mean, to expand on one, the answer that I did give in chat was like go to Japan, but I just picked a place for that. One thing I definitely want to do is a significant amount of traveling. I think somewhere in my brain, an ideal life for me could be living somewhere different every couple of months, just because I think there's so much in the world to see and so many cultures to absorb, and just a whole world that if you never leave, like leaving even my hometown, going to Colorado, which is within this country, changed so much of my perspective. Um, and I think that kind of change is nothing but positive. So, I don't want to leave this world before seeing more of it. And I'm kind of I'm scared of like planes and stuff. So that's like also part of it, is like I have to get over that and do some serious traveling before, you know, my time is up. Um, but let's see, the other two. That's tough, Bren. Bren, have you ever answered this? Do you ever get asked the questions back?
Yeah, I have. Would you like me
Give
to
me, give
answer?
me. Yeah, yeah.
So things for me. So bucket list one, Japan is actually one funny enough. Is I'd like to go to
All
Japan.
right. Let's go
Um,
together, Bren.
Tell me when.
Yeah.
That's called. The other one is going skydiving. That is a must for me.
Oh, okay.
I cannot leave this. It terrifies me, petrifies me, if you will. But I must do it for my own state to say that I actually can do it. I need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the final one for me would be to own a Tesla Model X, to be specific. But those are my threes. Is the things that I'd like to eventually complete before I perish from this world.
Uh, well, Bren, I think you picked some very doable, very doable bucket list goals. I definitely see those in your future. But as for me, okay, I think mine are less realistic, but one would definitely be, you know, to make one of my dreams come true, and in particular, just being able to, you know, have a career and say, this is, you know, I'm in charge of this and I made this happen and this is what I wanted. And I feel like I've had a lot of dreams in life and just kind of let them fall to the wayside because it's like, oh, it's unrealistic or something like that. And you know, right now, one thing is to you know, make content creating and streaming and this kind of stuff full time. Um, I definitely I don't want to give up on this, or whether that dream changes, I just don't want to give up on making my career what I want it to be. And that's something I think a lot of people end up falling into careers that they can call comfortable and not changing that because they're like, well, I can support myself this way and I don't know if I'll do it any other way. I don't ever want to fall prey to that trap. And I want to make sure what I end up doing is something I love. I feel like that's a hard bucket list one because, you know, it might be hard to tell when I've actually completed it. Probably not the kind of thing I'm gonna know until my life is over. But that's a tough one. Um, the other one, again, these are probably like the worst and most cliched answers you've ever heard, Bren. But like, my other one's probably just gonna be like, to get married, like find love. You know, I don't want kids ever. That's something I'm certain of. Uh, um, no little Andys, and you make a face. Like I'm sure you want little Brens, and I hope you get that. But
No,
um,
I was. Hey, I don't mean nothing but, as I said before, and I will say again on here, I am happy and content as long as the person that is looking for is that happiness. You talked a lot about today about being happy, and so I would say is being happy is of course subjective to each and every one. If you're happy and you're not hurting anyone or yourself, fuck, go for it. Have fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and hey, that doesn't hurt anyone, so go for it. Have fun.
fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I just I want that kind of partnership in life. I think it's a very hard thing to find, but it's out there. And you know, funny enough, my own parents have been a very good example of that because they are some of the few parents I know that are still, you know, together and never had a divorce. Not that I think there's anything wrong with that, because I think if people end up with the wrong partner, they shouldn't be with them. But just like it's been a good example to me of that partnership existing in the world, that you can find that and work together with each other, and they both had their individual hardships and worked through that. And you know, much like Into the Wild preaches, I do think a big part of finding the most in life is finding that partnership and sharing experiences with someone.
That's totally fair. Is there
So the goal is not to be forever alone.
is there a reason though? It's no kids though. Is there a reason that you could think of that for kids?
I mean, it's completely selfish. Do I want my chat to realize I'm like a total asshole and explain it? Like I guess I could, but I mean, no, it's just selfish. I'll be very upfront about that. I want to live my life for me, and I think when you have a kid, you dedicate 20 plus years to that. And for some people, that's what they want. They want to bring another life into this world. They want to raise them. They want to have that family unit, I guess. But for me, I just want to live my life until the day that I can't, for me, and have those experiences. And you know, I think there's enough people in the world. I think there's enough people that are gonna have kids, whether they, you know, plan to or not. Um, and I'm just personally not looking to be one of those people. I think maybe my parents will be disappointed, but I'm certain that my sister will give my parents some kids.
Okay.
That's she definitely seems like she's gonna have a maternal instinct in there.
That's totally fair. And that's the thing is like I think as far as me, see, I can definitely understand. I can definitely respect your decision, of course. And it's not like you're saying ew kids. It's more like it's more or less just. And I agree with what Bira said. It's not selfish. It's self preserving. And I agree. Like I think it's you're taking that time that you likely would end up spending on raising a child and being there for a child, which I mean some people would prefer doing, which is up to each and every person that decides that. You decide that you're gonna raise and nurture yourself a little bit longer and stuff like that. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. I don't think that's selfish at all either. Um, but as far
I
as
mean,
that
I think
is, yeah, go on.
I mean, I think I also come from kind of a very strict perspective because my struggles with anxiety as a kid, I don't feel like my parents handled to the best. And I kind of realized at a young age that like growing up, when you're super young, you think, oh, something happens when you become a parent and you just figure it out. Like you become a parent. And that's not it. Like your parents are just as much another human like you. And if you had a kid tomorrow, you'd still be the same person you are now, just with another life attached to that that depended on you. And I really think, although it's not the way a lot of people actually, like handle it, I think when you have a kid, that you should be dedicating a lot of yourself to that, both financially and mentally in every supporting way. Um, and so, since I know it's just not in me to want to dedicate myself in that way to raising another life, I just know it's best for some people to choose not to have a kid. I may be one of those people.
That's totally fair. See, for me, the reason I think the main reason for me to kind of would like a kid in the future, as my girlfriend asks me consistently if I would like to, what's it called now, would be is because I am the last person that could carry on my name, like my last name, which to
Uh,
me has a meaning to something. Obviously, that doesn't. It's very there's. It's just kind of like like it is just a name at the end of the day. But to me, that is important to me personally. But no, I can definitely respect your decision. I fuck yeah, like hey, when I'm gonna be holding the kid at 5 in the morning, you're gonna be traveling the world. So I mean, hey, I I hear you. No questions if and or buts about that for sure. Um, things about that. Before we go to the break, I got one, maybe two questions, but the one is kind of balled up into it, and it is a question from one of our viewers, actually one of my lovely mods, Multi. And this question gets asked every single episode, and you, Andy, are not getting out of this one. Um, toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Okay, correct.
Just looks right.
Okay, correct.
Correct.
Correct. There is a yes or no to this. Um,
Correct.
following up on this one, because this question has now garnished about 3 questions to it. When we are wiping, do you scrunch or fold?
Fold then scrunch. Can't be too safe, Bren.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. You don't want to get anything through the middle. Hear that, Brax? You're still here. What's it called? And then finally, when wiping, are we wiping front to back or back to front?
Front to back, Bren.
Just wondering. Brax,
I don't think there should be any other way.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Fold. It's good. Hey, I'm just saying. You can get all the cracks. Yeah. Hey, you know a lot about cracks.
Chad hates me again. This happens too often.
What's happening? It's just Brax. Don't worry. This happens too
Left to right, beer.
Down the crevice.
It's like a wind wiper, all right?
Yeah.
It's like a windshield wiper. Yeah.
Fold in front to back are correct. Ion and also over. Just want to make that. Just I know my cracks. Oh boy. So you can learn a lot about a person through how they use toilet paper. It's one thing we figured out here. Also over. Okay, Ion. Let's make sure. And Hang on off that because I didn't know how long that was going to go, that little segment here. So I got one more thing here before we go on our break. If you're Japanese, it should be left to right, or right to left. I like that, Beer. That's a big
Oh
brain
my
one.
god.
I like that. Before we go to the break here, I have one other question here for you. And do you have any secret hobbies or skills that most people would not know about you?
Secret hobbies or skills?
Yeah.
Um. Hmm. I gotta think of what no, I don't really think so. Nothing significant that I don't like. I'm not open about. Um. I mean, like maybe there's some things people don't know I know, but I don't think it would be. I don't know. I can build you a keyboard.
That's pretty impressive.
It's not. I mean, that's something I learned recently. Pick that one up from young Rai Pez in the chat. I don't. Not really have anything major. You know, I wish I could say I played an instrument, but if I could, I would have shown that off already. I tried to learn the bass. Tried to learn the ukulele, and I learned that that's difficult.
Your community's coming out for you here and, and bailing you out on this one.
No, my community is actually just trolling because I can neither sing nor do a Stitch impression. But thanks, guys.
I've heard a lot about the Stitch impression, though.
That's my mods. They like to torment me.
Oh my goodness. This is pretty
Oh
great.
my
Well,
god.
I'm saying. Well, we're gonna go on a break here. We're gonna go a quick little break, a few minutes. I'm gonna roll some reels so you guys can see some of the reels, some of the past episodes that we had, and some of the interesting conversations we got into. And then we're gonna come back. We're gonna play Two Truths and a Lie, and we're gonna go into some deeper questions and kind of get nittier, grittier, and find out
Deeper?
deeper. Yeah, this is yeah. No, we're no more toilet paper questions. They're deeper, not that kind of deeper.
Hey, that is not true. Stop saying that.
But we are does balance really well. Oh my goodness. So we are going to come back in a few more minutes. If you haven't already, go get yourself some water and go hang on. And also, if you haven't already, if you're maybe from my community, you're hanging out here, exclamation mark guest. I'm gonna put it up for you there. Go follow Andy on all three of those platforms. And we'll be right back in a few moments. We'll see you in a sec. Don't go anywhere because when we get back, we're gonna be possibly doing a giveaway, and someone might someone might become a VIP of this channel today on stream. So
I probably can't mess this one up, so don't worry.
I mean, no kidding. All right, we'll see you guys in just a sec. Enjoy the reels, exclamation mark reel if you want to go follow me on Instagram. I'll see you guys in a sec.
Basically a one message heads up after not hearing from them about why things could not continue, and it was just a lot of external forces that caused some issues. All their social media has vanished, they're gone, and I haven't heard from them since. And sometimes you cannot get closure. Sometimes you just have to move on without knowing the answer.
If you could ask a single person one question and they had to answer truthfully, who would you ask and what would you ask? And they could be dead or alive.
I think I would ask my dad if he wanted to be around more. I feel like I wanted him around, but I never knew how to ask. I always kind of wondered that. And clearly being almost 30, it still kind of eats at me. But I do think about that a lot. I always wonder if he wanted to be around more and he just maybe didn't know how to, or like what was it there that happened? Because I think not only me, but I think my sisters needed him too. I think we needed him and he wasn't there, and I never understood why. And I don't even know, maybe he would say I don't know. And that's okay, but I think there would be some sort of answer that I could say, okay, I can accept this.
If you wrote a book about your life up to now, what would the final line say?
I think it would end with something along the lines of, and she was happy. I think the ultimate goal of life is to achieve happiness. I hope happiness for every single person. That is the ultimate goal. It just perfectly summarizes it. You just want to be happy in life. I don't have to be big and famous and be filthy rich. I just want to be happy. That's all I want. It's very simple, but I just want to be happy.
What is the best advice that you have ever received?
It was to prioritize myself. I was always worried about my friends, and eventually that took a toll on me. My therapist was like, you have to focus on yourself. At the end of the day, you can't help everyone as much as you want to, and you can't please everyone. So focus on yourself, really understand how you're feeling, and set your boundaries. You have to prioritize your well being.
What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
You're the only person that can take care of yourself. Ultimately, you can ask others for help, and often you can get help, and that's wonderful. But when it comes down to it, you're brushing your own teeth every day, you're putting pants, you're the one taking care of yourself. You have to. If I want things to get done, I have to be the person looking for change.
What life-changing event have you experienced?
So I was with this person for just under 3 years, I think. But in that time, I basically completely isolated myself from my family, my friends. I was just like a typical, like very insecure teenager. I moved out just to be closer to this person. And this was a kind of like very controlling environment. Like they decided what I dressed, what I said. I couldn't swear because it wasn't ladylike. I couldn't buy protein powder because it would make me bulky. Developed an eating disorder. Didn't go to college for this person. It was a very, very controlling environment, and I moved in with this person when I was 18. And that was where I actually realized what kind of situation I was in. I think the worst part about it was because I had isolated myself so much, there are people that I lost because I didn't go spend time with them when I could. I was only allowed to be around that person, and that's it. You know, I lost my grandmother, and I lost someone who was basically a father to me during that time. And I think that's actually one of the things that created a turning point for me was when I lost that person, and the person that I was with told me that I just had to get over it. And I think mental abuse is something that's not talked about enough. I want people to know because I want people to be able to learn. If there is somebody in your life that is telling you how to dress and how to act and who to talk to and who to be around, that person is toxic and is not worth a moment of your time.
What is your biggest fear in life?
Regret. So I never want to put myself in a shoulda, woulda, coulda scenario. I want to know that I did my best in every scenario that I've ever been across. I want to know that if I thought I should be doing it, I did it. Even if I tried, who cares? I tried. If I failed, whatever, I tried. But I never want to regret not doing something. This is how I see it. You get born, there's that dash in the middle, and then you die. So it's all about, did you make your life worthwhile? Did you live to the fullest? Did you enjoy that moment? Because you got to remember, everything that you did, you don't take with you. Everything that you gained, you don't take with you. You got to understand that I got to enjoy what's here in the now. So absolutely, my biggest fear in this world will always be regret.
You're watching Connections, a podcast about human connections, premiering every Tuesday on Twitch TV/Brengra. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
You live your life for you and you don't live it for anybody else. In reference at the time, it was about my dad and how I wanted to live my life, and you live your life for you. This is your life. You make it the way you want to. You're not here for a long time. You're here for a good time type thing. Do whatever makes you happy.
What life-changing event have you experienced?
So I was dating a girl and she just disappeared out of nowhere, and she didn't really tell me why. Her parents showed up. Her mom gave me a letter. I was like, oh wait, where is she? It's just like, she recently passed away. That was like a life-changing moment to me because like in the letter it says, I apologize for not letting you know what happened to me because I didn't want you to be in the same pain where I was going to. Because at the time, she didn't tell me, but she had cancer. I was like, wow, I didn't know what that meant. That explains why she was very distant to me towards the end of the relationship. And what the note says, I apologize if your outlook on life or love changed because of me. But if you find someone that you truly love, don't let go of them.
Who do you feel closest to?
Like my nan, so my dad's grandma. She passed away because of dementia.
And we're back. How did you guys think about the reels? Nene, I saw that you said that the one about mental abuse is hitting home. I really hope you're okay and you're in a safe situation. I hope you're okay. And anyone else, if you found those interesting, we post there at least once a week. ! Reels to go and see if you want to go and see any of that. We post up things all the time. The last one makes me want to cry. They're so hard, like they really hit home for some, like a lot of those. And trust me, imagine Brax being on the end of where people are telling me these so meaningful stories and stuff like that. Like it's really sad. And I mean, the great thing though is that a lot of people are coming on the positive side of things at the very end of things. So just keep that in mind as well. Yeah, ! Podcast. Go follow the podcast on all major podcast platforms if you would like. Iggy, welcome in. That's my brick squad. What's up, Iggy? How's it going?
Hey yo, Iggy.
Oh yes, Iggy's in your community as well now too. I've seen Iggy's squandered in a spot here, quite nicely in everyone's community recently. Iggy, the nicest ever. That's great
As
to hear.
Mitch calls him, the throat goat.
Yes, I do too, but I didn't know if that would hit or not, so that's why I just. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it either, but that's what we call him. So Iggy. I was in his stream yesterday for a little bit. He was playing Rocket League and kicking ass.
I saw, except for literally, I clicked the link, and it was gone. It was like the stream is not active anymore. I was like, bro. So I'm sorry, Iggy. Thank you for showing me support, even though I don't show you support. I'm sorry. Love you, buddy. Are you at work right now, by the way, Iggy? Because I know you're saying you're supposed to be at work, so I hope if you are, be safe. But if not, good to have you. Thanks for joining in. This is the part of the show where we play Two Truths, One Lie. You might be like, what the heck is a two truth and a lie? I mean, come on. Regardless, maybe you don't know how to play it. Maybe we have a little bit of a different way that you play it. Here's how you play it. Here's a little intro here. So, starting off with two truths and a lie, there is 3 rules, much like quick questions. The first rule of Two Truths, One Lie is that the guest is going to provide 3 statements about themselves. 2 are a fact and 1 is a lie. The viewers are going to be able to guess the false statement by voting in a poll. If the viewers are correct, one of the viewers will get a prize. You must be in the Discord to claim the prize, and subs will get 5 extra entries. And also, if I choose the correct false statement, one of the viewers will become a VIP on this channel. I still have not fixed them. Sorry, Donovan. I know that intro is still spelt wrong at the very bottom there. It drives him crazy every single time.
Typos keep it real.
Really, though. And also, today what we are playing for is a $10 gift card to any gaming online store. So Steam, PlayStation Network, our PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store, anything like that. We will do it in $10 for you in your currency that you accept. And maybe you're wondering, what's that sponsored by? Well, it's sponsored by these lovely guys right behind me. Bren's merch, or Bren's Closet, ! Merch, if you'd like to go and purchase something. That is how we can give away these things. So if you'd like to support a possible giveaway in the future, go buy yourself a nice, cute little Bren bear, which we have yet to name yet, so we'll have to figure out a name for that.
Stan Bren Bear.
Stan Bren Bear, exactly. So, Andy, I'm going to switch it to you. I'm going to let you take the floor, and please, in no particular order, can you please let us know? Yeah, where's Pugs? Yeah, where is Pugs? Can someone summon Pugs? Can you please tell us your 3 statements?
Oh, tell Senpai that I'm here. He'll come through. All right. So, my 2 truths, 1 lie. I did musical theater for years as a child. I learned to snowboard when I was 9 years old.
Give me 1 sec here.
And
as a child. And what you said, you did just snowboard, is that right?
Yes, I learned to snowboard when I was 9 years old.
At 9, okay.
And I once had seriously planned to start a pizzeria with a good friend of mine.
That sounds sick. Pizzeria. Okay, so chat. There's going to be a poll that's going to be popped up in the chat here in just a moment. I need you to vote 1, 2, or 3 in the poll. Girl. Brax, in the poll in just a moment here. Multi will give it up for us in just 1 second here. And I need you to tell me, what is the lie here? Number 1 is at the musical theater as a child. Number 2 is snowboarding. And number 3 is the pizzeria. As you can see, it's on the screen right below me there. It is also where you can do it is, excuse me, oh my goodness, in the poll there. Be sure to vote. You guys are playing for a $10 Steam, PlayStation Store, Xbox Store gift card. Number 1, musical theater as a child. Number 2, snowboard, learn to have snowboard at 9 years old. And number 3, seriously plan to start a pizzeria with a friend. So please let me know what you think is the cap. I see a lot of people going number 2. I see a couple of people going number 3. Exclamation mark Discord. You must be in the Discord to be able to claim the prize today. I cannot be chasing around people, unfortunately, on Twitch. It's just not going to happen. So you must be in the Discord so I can contact you to give you your prize if we win. So make sure you're in there. We're also going to be doing building this Lego set today after stream in the Discord.
And eating it.
Andy will be eating it.
It's gingerbread.
So, make sure that you guys are voting this poll.
Let's see how well my community knows me.
Let's see. So I see a lot of people are pushing number 2. No one going number 1. Everyone believes in the musical theater. And then number 3, there's some people thinking the pizzeria is B will have to change that.
Pizza.
Bogus pizza, exactly. So, I see another person going into number 2, putting that little bit more pressure here. Has anyone found pugs? No. I see someone went 1 as well. Someone's changing up and went to 1 as well. Which is the
someone
musical
wants
theater.
to be the only winner.
So number 1 is musical theater as a child. Number 2 is snowboarding for 9. Learn to snowboard at 9 years old. And number 3 is once plan to start a pizzeria with your friend. I regret my vote. I bet it was number 1. I DM pugs, but they seem to be asleep. Okay, that's not. It happens. It's also, I think, like 5 in the morning right now for pugs. So,
man, who would be asleep at 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
Not me.
I know not you. I've been awake with you at that time before.
It's not a lie. I'm not lying.
Really though. So I see a lot. That number 2 is taking a high poll rating right now on that number 2. So keep in mind, reminder to you guys, number 1, musical theater as a child. Number 2, snowboarding at 9 years old. And number 3, once planned to start a pizzeria. Keep that in mind. 1, 2, or 3. Get your votes in quick here. If the majority is right, we will be giving away a gift card after the stream. I see someone else doubling down on number 2 there. So keep that. Keep it. Okay, I think we're going to end up with a 2. I don't think there's any way we can go back. So that is 2. The 2 is going to be the winner for that. So that is what chat said. Chat has said number 2. They think the lie is that you're learning to snowboard at 9 years is not true. However, I still need to vote. I need to give you what I think there, Andy. What's up, Ken? Good to see you in. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the lurk. Appreciate you. How's your day been? If you're still here, I know you sometimes you listen in and clean in the background, but good to see you. Thanks for the lurk if you haven't been, but hope you're doing well. I'm here for the feet.
The clean guy. Yo,
here for
Mr.
the
Ken,
feet.
what is up?
They're here for the feet. What feet?
We got feet, but we ain't locking toes yet, Mr. Ken.
Just playing some Battlefield. Oh, yo, enjoy Battlefield. Have fun with that. I'm gonna say for the lie. I'm gonna go chat today. I feel like this chat has been amazing. I think this chat is going to keep me on that wave and gonna stay on that kind of thing. I really want the pizzeria thing to be true. That's why I think more than anything. So I'm gonna go with that snowboarding learning to snowboard at 9 years old was a lie, whether it was the actual proper age or that I don't know. Oh, you know what? Hang on. I'm going to change it. I'm actually going to go to the pizzeria. I know how well you lied on Who Are You and how well you sold it. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to change it. I'm going to go number 3. Number 3 is my the one I sing lie. Andy, am I correct? Is the pizzeria the lie?
No.
Okay. I'm okay with being wrong.
Pizzeria is not the lie.
Okay. Is number 2, is chat correct? Is snowboarding at 9 years old the lie?
Chat is correct. And I wonder why they were able to guess that. That's what I want to know. Because I thought I cooked up some pretty good ones here.
You did.
I thought I sold it pretty well. But like Earl was like, it's 2. like
we have trust in Earl.
You know what? I thought I should do better at fooling you. But when you were gonna guess it, I was like, you know what? It's okay to be bad at this because now the community gets stuff. I guess no one's getting VIP today.
That's true. No one loses VIP either, because you would have to choose that if you got that. So you kind of got the best of both worlds here. You got great. However, we still need to run the success, because chat got it right. Which chat, congratulations, run that success. That fireworks. Let's go. Good job, chat. Viewers safe. Really though. Congratulations, chat. That means we're giving away a gift card in the Discord after. So give me 1 second here as I start up the giveaway for today here. Yeah, make sure you're in the Discord. On Discord, I cannot help you. I would love to do it. However, if you are in the if you're in the Discord call when we roll, and that person who is maybe supposed to win is not there, I'm giving it away to someone. So if you're just in the call, you could be the winner.
Earl, how was it obvious though? Please expand. What was wrong with my eye?
So make sure that you guys are on here. If you see your name on the list here, exclamation mark enters all you got to do. All you got to do here. So if you see it on there, that is the thing there. If your name is on there, I see Brax, I see B, I see Multi. Anyone can join. That means you too, Andy, if you'd like. Anyone can join on there. Oh, there we go. There's an Andy. There's Ace. If you'd like, exclamation mark enters all you got to do. You also have to be in the Discord just because I got to find you in some way. Here's Donovan. Anyone can join. Anyone can win. Make sure your name's on there. Yeah. And if you'd like, we'd love to meet you in the Discord too after the stream as well. Jay, I see in there. I'm not seeing Earl though.
What's up?
I'm saying, where's Earl? Yeah. You have some time to go put them in there, but get those votes in. Get those votes in. Or get those enters in. There's my boy Iggy. Iggy, if you steal another win on this giveaway, Iggy won the second to last giveaway we gave out. It was the first time he was ever in a giveaway. It was just rude. I was kidding. All right. So please, exclamation mark enter, get yourself in there. Jamsey, if you're at work, there's Earl. Make sure you get yourself in there. So heading back to the mainstream screen here. Belak, yo, get yourself in there. Exclamation mark enters. All you gotta do. Get in there. Nene, come on, guys. Eileen, come on. Exclamation mark enter. I'm giving away. Someone's gonna win. Wolfie,
guys,
welcome
who doesn't
in.
want free stuff? Exclamation enter. Do it on behalf of me. All right, guys.
Go win and meme on Andy about how you won.
Meme on me about all the games you can afford that I can't.
Meme on me. Or maybe, this is what I thought about this, is maybe you can buy a game that Andy has played on stream with your gift card. I'm just saying.
Let me inspire you, because we play everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, you play so many games. So yeah, just you have so many things you can do.
So much gaming.
I see Nene's in there. Awesome. So we're going to continue on that. If you'd like, exclamation mark enter at any point in this, join in. We'd love for you guys to win something from today. Obviously, we didn't get any subs away, so we're going to give away a gift card at least. So it's a $10 gift card to any gaming online store that you'd like. We can do that out too. So make sure you're in there. Was this exclamation mark Discord? Yeah, join it up there. We'd love to meet you, Nene, if you'd like to. We're having a call after. We're going to be giving away this in the living room voice channel. So make sure that you're in there. We'd like to, if you want, you don't have to be. You just have to be within the Discord. to win. Not actually in the call. If that's not something that's comfortable for you, that's totally fine. So Andy, we're gonna dissect these here and see when is it happening after the stream there, Earl.
All right, Bren, let's get deep.
Let's well, first off, let's go on these things here. So you said the pizzeria is real. So
yes,
I'm interested here.
Yes, you're immediately interested by that one.
I'm happy now, but continue. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, so my friend that I moved out to Colorado with, he's one of my best friends from high school. And when he was back home and had convinced me around the winter time that I should come out to Colorado with him come the fall, he was like, yeah, he had some aspirations to be like a chef or something like that. And he said, yeah, in Colorado, there's just no good pizza. Nobody knows how to do it. And we've come from like the New York metropolitan area. I mean, Connecticut, but metropolitan area our whole lives. And I was like, well, we got all the best pizza here. We know what good pizza tastes like. So somehow I let him convince me into the idea that we should, he wanted to start a pizzeria and I would do it with him. And I don't know where we got the idea we'd ever be able to do that. But we spent quite a few months learning to make pizza from scratch and kind of some of those nuances. And we really just like for 6 months, we made several pizzas a week, like to try and get better at this. And we did get pretty good at one point, but definitely it ain't like what they actually sell in restaurants. Maybe because we never had the equipment or the space, who knows, just doing this in mom's kitchen at like 18 years old. But, the idea was there. It was a lot of fun to learn all this. Eventually we realized it was not a lot of the aspects you'd think that kind of deterred us. It was like, okay, you need permits and all this other junk and like it's way beyond us, not to mention our pizza's not that good. And actually what we failed to realize was not even that. The thing about it that's like tough about pizza in Colorado is altitude. So I'd say the biggest difference in Colorado was the altitude you're living at. Even in like Boulder and Denver, Colorado, you're at 4,000 feet above sea level, which really changes things. In the town that we lived in, we were at 7,000 feet above sea level. The air is thin there. It is extremely dry. And that's why bread does not always bake the same, like pizza crust, at certain altitudes. That's why actually, like, I don't know anything about bread, but I know that like really fancy bread people always talk about like the hydration percents and stuff of the bread. This plays a factor into how it cooks. And so what people don't understand in Colorado is how to make good bread. It's not how to make pizza necessarily, because the shape is the same, though they do lack that New York water, so it'll never be quite as good. But yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. That's interesting. I never knew that. I never even thought about that, about the bread part. That's very interesting to know. I mean, hey, I just got to be in the industry to know it, right?
Exactly.
Welcome in, Flim Flam Flam, our first ever winner of giveaways. Flam, you always seem to come in right as we win the giveaways. I think you're just kind of a good luck charm in a sense, in a weird kind of sense. Exclamation mark enter. You know how the deal. You know how to win it. And we'll see in the Discord after, I'm sure. That's very interesting though. I don't know if you've ever seen Eric on YouTube, where he opened Sweet Pablo's, a in-house restaurant, and he put it on Uber Eats, and he actually got banned from Uber Eats because he brought store-bought pizzas and was firing them up in his kitchen, and he was shipping them out in these like really nice boxes that he had like printed off. And yeah, no, it's a great video. I think he's done it like once or twice, but definitely an interesting thing there if you're wanting some ideas on your next endeavor of a pizzeria. Sweet Pablo's.
Yeah, you'll have to send me that. I need to watch that. That's funny.
It is pretty good. It was really good. Maybe we'll watch it after the Discord because it's a hilarious video. And then the snowboarding at 9 years old. So obviously I wasn't watching chat when I was doing the giveaway here, and I know you asked Earl what was so easy about it, but is there any sort of honesty to that at all? Did you snowboard? Did you maybe learn to ski at 9 years old? Is there any sort of anything in there? Or
yeah, I mean, I learned to ski at 12 and learned to snowboard at 13. So it was just the age that was wrong there. I figured that might be something my community would know, although that is not the answer that Earl gave. And others said that it's because there was a number, and I realized that might have been the giveaway. That and my number one was pretty obviously true because I talked about acting for a minute in here. But I wrote these down before doing this, so I wasn't necessarily planning on talking about acting. Yeah, I just changed the number there, and I guess that's a little too obvious of a tell. I'll try to get better at lying, but I've still fooled Bren, so
That's true. And you also, your tell us a story. You fooled the other two contestants on Who Are You? So I mean, hey, you definitely your lying was all right. It was enough to
true. But
to
we
take
all
you away
fooled
third
each
place.
other on that. So
Very true. Very true.
Hugs and Mitch, also untrustworthy characters. No, I'm just kidding. Very trustworthy.
That's hilarious. But number one, musical theater as a child. Any kind of stories, any kind of thing you can relate to that? Obviously, that's true.
I mean, not necessarily. I really wanted to do TV acting as a kid, and so I got with like some random terrible modeling agency, but they actually got us booked for like some auditions for like commercials. And my mother took me to one once in New York City. But the way they do commercials is like the night before at 8 p.m., they'll be like, we need you here tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. And that is very stressful, especially considering that my whole life my mother has like worked as well. She was never fully a stay-at-home mom, at least not to my memory. No, she never was. She has always liked to work as well. And she was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. And I was like, all right, well, then, my mom was like, you have to find another way to seek this dream of acting. And so I am doing like a lot of theater stuff because that's what was around me. There's no TV acting's all held in the big places like New York. And musical theater was a lot of fun, but I moved away from that eventually because it was, well, one, I can't sing, despite the lies my chat was telling you. And two, it's not the kind of acting I wanted to do because it's very different than like TV acting, acting for musical theater is very exaggerated, very campy, and acting for TV is much more realistic and about like faking real emotions and stuff. And like, I don't know, it takes a little more than that.
Interesting. I mean, I think you've kind of almost
each their own. I mean,
yeah,
definitely like
exactly.
on stage acting is nothing short of like insanely skilled. Just not the kind of acting I wanted to do.
I think you've kind of found and it's not saying you're acting by any means by doing this, but I think you've kind of found your kind of like creative out, if you will, as like an artist of. I wouldn't call this acting, but I would say is you've definitely found like how you can comfortably do something that's real and not bullshit. And I think we've talked about this before, is that you definitely aren't just a persona. You're very real to you. And I think that's why this is, I mean, maybe a little bit comfortable for you than most people would come into this, because a lot of people come in to this kind of feeling like stressed. And I think that sometimes relates around, well, one, obviously uncertainty, but also two is being worried that something might be discovered that you might not want everyone to know, in a weird coming on Connections, you probably should know that. But I think as far as like you, I think you seem a lot more comfortable than a lot of the guests that we've dealt with, because I think you are very real to who you are, which is awesome to see. I think it's really good.
Well, thank you, Brent. I mean, a big part of that is that I feel as though I know you and we're friends. And
sure.
if I was on here at the same time I was on Who Are You, I definitely would have felt a little less comfortable, quite a little more nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But I met you guys once before and talked with you a good bit, Bren, so that helps.
It's definitely been awesome. It's been nice to kind of, it was like I've said before, is you're kind of the one that we're testing to see how Who Are You works with Connections. And I think it's been exciting because I feel like you and I are closer because we've had to work with each other in different manners before Connections, which is like really awesome to me. So I've had a lot of fun with this. So it's good. It's definitely tapping into this whole kind of connections with people, whether it is on the show.
The name of the show, Drink.
Yeah, exactly. However, this is the time of the show where we get into the deep questions, the part of the show that I like, and we get to find out the real Andy Righteous. And I will ask, yeah, exactly. Hydrate, drink. There you go. I'll get you to hydrate with me here.
All right, there we go. There we go.
Thanks,
Malty.
Malty. Starting off with this, I feel like we've kind of gotten to a little bit of kind of deeper questions already from the beginning. We talked a little bit of kind of like your life story. You kind of got a little bit open with us already. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat it with these maybe like little easy questions and stuff like that. I'm going to get the real Andy. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Bren, hit me with it. Let's see if my community learns anything they didn't know.
I feel like even the smallest detail, I think someone will learn about you. You've talked quite a bit today about your anxiety growing up. I wanted to kind of ask you how you found out that you did have anxiety and kind of what you've done to deal with that throughout.
How did I find out? Well, do I really want to tell the story? It kind of hit me very much all at once, my anxiety. I felt and it probably showed itself in other ways before this that I just didn't realize because I was just a kid being a kid. But in third grade, there was an incident that occurred, and I just kind of freaked out. I guess that was kind of like my first panic attack. And from there on out, it was something I struggled with very constantly, very much all the time. It was not easy to deal with as a kid. My parents didn't really understand. I didn't have a ton of friends, and also, kids at that age definitely don't understand that kind of thing, and definitely don't have a lot of respect for it either, like other kids. So, for a while, the younger years of school were tough. And the hardest thing I think for me about anxiety was when I felt like it was just a switch that turned on in the third grade. I started having to see therapists and all that. And, I would always be like, well, how do I, get rid of this? How do I turn it back off? How do I go back to being normal? And it was like, they would all tell me, there's no turning it off. It's not just going to go away. And it probably never will completely go away. And that was just like a terrible thing for me as a little kid who just wanted to go back to never having a fear in the world, to hear. That took me quite a while to understand and fully accept. But, one thing you certainly learned growing up that helped with that was just that you're not the only one. Especially in our generation, many, many people struggle with anxiety. And for the most part, the only reason the older generation doesn't necessarily consider themselves to struggle with it as much, that was the wrong place to put air quotes, but is, just because they weren't diagnosed. Like even in my family, my father came from an Italian family of 5 in which, the word mental health wasn't a word. They grew up in the Bronx, stuffed into a little apartment with 5 kids. His father was a postman and somehow supported 5 kids. And my aunt actually struggles with some pretty serious mental health issues of her own, which were really not diagnosed until I was like, probably like around 10, 12 years old. And anyway, though, so, it was definitely like a tough thing between my parents and me for quite a while. I think at this point, they're probably just happy to see me doing anything. But, first thing for me really was accepting that I needed to learn how to deal with it. Because all the therapists would always say, you have to just learn to cope with it. And I hated that. I was like, I want it to go away. I want to go back to the way I was before. The word coping was like just the pariah. I was like, stop saying that word. It's bullshit. I came to see eventually that the things, I was taught to use, the tools I was taught to use to help cope with this and like come to live with it were useful for me. And were able to help me to some degree. And, obviously as I just got older, I started to make more friends and understand socializing better and, had spent a lot of time kind of just being an observer and trying to analyze people and understand what it was as a child that was alienating me. And, just from having that support of friends who could understand and learning how to cope with it in ways that made me able to not be obviously like an anxious mess, and kind of, function to a good degree. I definitely came to live with it better. A struggle for me lately has really just been that, like, I feel like I hit a point when I was about 18 where my anxiety was really well managed. I didn't deal with much of it. I kind of had the tools necessary to do almost anything and deal with my anxiety if I had it. And in recent years, I feel I have gotten a little lax with that, and I do struggle with my anxiety a little more frequently these days. But it's always going to be about finding ways to work with it, and ways to cope with it, and just be able to live your life in a way that you're happy with that and have people who understand your anxiety. I definitely don't explain it to a lot of people. There's definitely a lot of my friends that don't understand the severity of my anxiety. I may have mentioned that I have it, but I'll never tell them if I'm like feeling really anxious. And I don't recommend that. I think you should have friends that you can be that open with. But that's my own personal choice, because one of the things I always hated was feeling like I couldn't do something that other people could, or that I needed help to do it. And so I don't know. That's my personal choice to stay pretty tight-lipped about it, but still having the support of my friends who do understand it, and can be here for me is it helps me a lot. It helps me more than they know, and it means a lot to me. And just accepting that if there is something you have to live with, you just have to find the tools for you that help you live the way you want to live, and get through the hard times. You can't always fight this like wanting it to disappear, because it doesn't, and that sucks. But that doesn't mean you won't learn to deal with it in a way that still lets you be happy.
I can definitely agree. I think my only thing I would say is I would definitely urge you, if you will, as someone who does also struggle with anxiety and have for a long time as well. I think you were diagnosed a lot earlier than I was. I was 12 or 13 when I was diagnosed. I had my first panic attack, and it's like a whole wave of emotions and feelings. Oh yeah, it's just terrifyingly scary. And I think it's something that's so crazy. And yeah, no, like I definitely have been there, and I can relate to your kind of not as maybe handling it as well as I could have personally in the last little while. I think as people in our mid 20s, we get to that point where we're like almost a comfortability of like, you know what, we're fine. It's fine. We're in mid 20s. We're not supposed to have these kind of issues, type of thing. But I think my thing is that these issues are so common, but I don't think people talk about them as often as they really are. And which is where I'm basically saying is leading up to my point of I would urge you to maybe bring it up, because I think obviously it is something for you, or even if not in the time of, is maybe an after, basically say I was really anxious there. Because I think it is important to talk about it.
You're doing great, Bren.
Thanks, Iggy. And I think there's a lot of times where it's good to talk about it just to kind of get it out, and also to see if kind of maybe there's other people that are feeling this same kind of way. And I think it's better than bottling it up, period. Even if it is after, like it's better than nothing at all. Or at least for me, it's helped me a lot, is saying to my friends, like, in the moment feels the best, but I also know I've also been in that moment where it's like, oh my god, I can't. No, why am I? No, I'm gonna reaction, then I have to deal with it, and then it's just like, no, I don't want to. That's not what I want to talk about right now. But I also know that like there's been times where I've said to, for instance, my girlfriend, my mom, my people, I'm not feeling like I feel anxious now, or I'm feeling anxious, or I felt anxious at that point. And being able to kind of dissect that and realize why I was anxious has really helped me in identifying it before it even comes. So like for instance, one that I'm sure you can relate to, turning on that fucking go live button every single day is one of the most anxiety ridden things, and that lead up to it is super anxiety ridden. Once it's on, it's fine. It's usually that's when it like it's just like and for instance, a good example of this is Who Are You episode 1. I was a mess the whole day leading up to it because I knew I had to hit that go live at that point, and it was something that I at that point didn't trust was going to work, and I didn't know how it was going to be perceived or anything like that. But if it's shown anything, is that anxiety, as much as it is a pain in the ass, also pushing through it in certain senses, don't get me wrong, in certain senses is sometimes very big and is very helpful to kind of get through those situations. And I mean, I'm so proud and happy of what Who Are You has created. It's created some amazing friendships through some amazing people, and I will continue to do that even if that scares the hell out of me. Same with connections. This is like this most terrifying thing is this the pre-stream start of it. You saw me how I talked before the pre-stream. I'm in total go mode. Like it's a machine because I've had to make it like that so that I don't get caught up in my emotions. I'm focusing on how I can get a product to everyone to see that's going to be super amazing and brilliant. And because the first ones I didn't have this whole setup. I didn't have that showmanship that you talked of and stuff like that. I had a kid with a camera and a go live button, and it was rough, but that wasn't the worst part. It was what's up here that was the worst part. And now that I've gotten a little more comfortable with it, it's definitely less and less and less every single time I do that. Not saying that everyone's like that, but I think for me, with the knowing kind of what I'm getting myself into, I can be a little more comfortable with stuff like that, and I'm fortunate. And so I know it's that pre-stream anxiety, as Bira said, is very, very much real, and I wish was talked about a little bit more.
It's funny how relatable that is, especially the fact that like once you hit live, it's gone. And I do have to say at this point, I'm pretty comfortable with it. I don't get a lot of that anymore, just because I'm going live 4 days a week, hitting that button all the time. But when I started, like I said, I started very slow. At first, I was streaming 2 days a week for 3 hours. And granted, there was no one watching, so it is what it was. But it was never going to grow that way, and that's part of why I stepped it up to where it's at. But anyway, back then, even though no one was watching, that was like hitting that go live button was like tough. I'd be so nervous coming up to it, and just even like sometimes I'd be like, no, I need like 10 more minutes. Like I can't yet. I gotta like get myself in the right headspace. But once you hit it, then it's like you're just here. You're just hanging out. It's definitely like all the anticipation is put on that. Like I don't know what we think is gonna happen, but something's gonna blow up when you hit go live.
I mean, as we have a saying here, in the Bren brand, as we start streams, it's not a stream day unless something goes wrong. Is
that's
one of
everything.
Yeah, and so I think it's. I mean, yes, but that usually 9 times out of 10 is the things that go wrong with everything before the stream, and then once we hit the go live, I think it's usually pretty awesome. So
lucky you. I streamed VR yesterday, and I can't relate. There were problems on stream, but no, it's just like I always joke about photography as a career. It shouldn't be called being a photographer. It should be titled professional problem solver, because something will always go wrong, and your skill as a photographer is based on how well you adapt to those things going wrong. You're not going to have a light's going to break, someone's not going to show up, something's going to happen, and how well you adapt to that is really what being creative is all about. And the same goes for streaming too. So yeah, very relatable.
It's something that I wish was just talked about more, because I think it's, and exactly, Beer, like the longer you sit there, it makes it worse. But I think is also too is when you have those creators, like, oh my goodness, why are they not starting on time? A good portion of the time, I mean, sometimes they're procrastinating. Don't get me wrong. not bailing them out on this one, but a good portion of them are also struggling to hit that button. Because with me, I'm very lucky. I get to start it with a mod who I know, trust, and they know exactly what's going through my head at every given moment. Shout out to Malty in the background right now. And I also get to do it with someone who I know is going through a very similar thing with me and is also very excited, but a little bit nervous to get to meet me in front of an amazing community of people, whether it's mine or theirs, which reduces a bit of anxiety for me because it's not all the pressure's not on me currently. And exactly, Donovan. I know Bren better than he knows himself. 70% of the time at this point. Exactly. And I think I'm fortunate for that. Like, I'm really lucky to have that. Whereas I know when my first stream, your first stream, we didn't have those mods and everything. We had maybe like a friend that was there, stuff like that, but it was just like someone who probably didn't know too much about Twitch. I mean, for me personally, didn't know too much about Twitch and was kind of learning it on the go. And I mean, I'm super fortunate to kind of have these people who are willing to not only support me on this journey, but also support me in a mental kind of state and get to know me, which I'm very fortunate for sure. Speaking of this, and kind of going on to maybe a more positive light, what is something that you are proud of about yourself?
About myself. You know, I am someone who, along with anxiety, almost always comes depression. And yet I've been able to find in myself the ability to stay motivated on some things for just like really get myself motivated on things like I have with streaming, like I did when I came to New York for photography. You know, maybe I got to really stick to one thing at some point, but I definitely think streaming's that thing. I know a lot of my friends who could just never feel motivated to stick with something so long. But, you know, a lot of people have commended my motivation because when I believe something, I really believe it. And I want to make, you know, content creating and streaming and all that a full-time thing. I have people in my community that really, including you, Bren, who have said such nice things about, you know, my stream and the way I've seen it grow, and like the support that I've seen has really, really shown to me that there is some promise in this, and that my efforts are certainly not wasted, and that if I really put myself into this, I can take it somewhere. And staying motivated on that, no matter what. Like, I was streaming for at least 5 months to no more than 3 viewers. But I kept a schedule that whole time. It was light, as it probably should have been, all things considered. Like maybe 2 days a week, maybe 3 max for short periods of time. But, you know, I still kept with it, just knowing that at some point people hit that break. And at least the problem with Twitch is visibility. And maybe I just hadn't been seen yet. I got lucky enough to get connected with, after all that time, some people that really jump-started the community aspects of Twitch for me. I think I was just a little too scared, you know, to go and connect with other content creators before that, because I felt I had nothing to offer, you know? I had no viewers. I had very few followers. I just was like, what could I offer them when they're almost always, like, if it's a stream I like bigger than me, like, what could I offer for that? And in having the opportunity to have a community and people who have been so supportive to me and so caring, you know, I've had a lot of validation for this dream, and it has only furthered my motivation to put my all into it. And I feel blessed that I can feel motivated and that I can want something so bad and not have any inkling to give up on it.
For sure. Like, I think I definitely 100% can relate to that. Obviously, with this. Hello? There we go.
You're using a headset mic? Oh, I thought you were using the mic in front of me.
No, it's for you. You're hearing the mic. The chat's hearing something else. It sounded like it wasn't working.
Okay.
But I think as far as for me personally, is that connections. It relies on a guest coming in. And so I really felt you when you talked about that, is that point of, I feel like I didn't have anything to offer. Who am I with like a few viewers, a few like followers and stuff like that. And I realized very quickly, you'd be surprised what you get if you just ask. and the compassion and the understanding of a lot of creators. Any shout out to anyone who's in chat: Brax, B, Ken, Mango. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else I missed that have been on here that's been in there. But all those names, for instance, they did not know me. They had no idea who I was, and they decided that, yeah, sure, I'll be on this kids show. Random person, never met. Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna be on. And I'm very fortunate because this show does not work without someone else coming on it. Like really, like it doesn't. And so it's been very strange to me that people will come on and do that, but I think it's something that I'm glad I did, because had I not done it sooner, I would have met so many amazing people. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I'm very, very fortunate for the people I've gotten to meet because of this. And kind of going back to you and your thing is, I've met, I think you're the 38th guest we've had on here.
Wow, I didn't know that many episodes. Brenna, I must imagine this was hard to start.
By the way, if anyone in chat, do you know any streamers that might be interested in this, do me a favor. Send me a link in Discord. I'd love to get to know your favorite creator and maybe have them on here in the future. We are still filling some positions for December. And we're also looking for January and then on and so forth. So if you have anyone that you're interested in, please let me know. Or if you're a creator, maybe you want to come and talk on and make a new friend. Hit me up in Discord. Send me a link. In my DMs, please. Yeah, as far as that is, I think that's the hardest part. Donovan can tell me again and again and again about how I've come up to him, and I'm like, there's no way we're gonna stop the stream. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't find a guest. No one believes in this. It's a terrible idea. Donovan's like, chill, okay, chill. And then basically, like, and I think like one of the things that Donovan said to me that's resonated better than anything is that I don't realize how much I've done here. And basically is that one of the coolest things is seeing your favorite creator come on and be super open and talk anything and basically be able to connect with your favorite creator is one of the interesting. Almost had to punch him in the head every time he gets going about it. Really though, is that was one of the things to me. I'm like, that is cool. Like, I would have loved to have this for me when I was starting off, getting to pick my favorite creator's mind, having that opportunity to, and like that was not the main reason for this. It's definitely a really cool side piece. And thank you everyone in chat. I see you guys all in chat. You guys are so lovely. Like that wasn't the original point of this. The point of this was to make a new friend. And I'm very, very fortunate to have met so many amazing friends, but I'm also super fortunate for the people that have stuck around and hung out and been with me this whole time. So I'm very, very fortunate and lucky for that. Yeah.
Look, Bren, you do, obviously you know this now, but you do a lot for other people. And I think, I mean, for one, I imagine this was hard to start, but now that you've got it rolling and you've got something to show, I don't think you should have any fear of people not thinking this is anything worth them coming on, because you put on an amazing show here and you bring this has just been nothing but a positive thing, like the most wholesome thing I think I've ever been a part of. And I have to say, Bren, you're a big part of what has gotten me excited about the community and the growth of my stream and everything else. Like, I got asked to be on a game show by some random person who found me looking for a raid, and asked to be on a podcast and made a wonderful friend out of it. It has been just as much an amazing experience to me, and an honor to be asked to be on like your game show and your podcast. So I mean, that's huge to me. That's like, damn, I'm going places. I got asked to be on some random podcast, some random game show. Like, you might think it's nothing, but I thought that was so cool. And the fact that that's really how willing to put yourself out there that you are, like to just go and find someone and ask them. I would be so scared. I would be like, they're not even going to respond to me. So thank you, Bren. I know I was happy to respond to you, Bren.
Oh, and that's very nice of you. And I I don't think of it that way, obviously, because it's hard to put that myself in another shoe because I'm already so caught up in my own anxieties of I'm asking a total complete stranger to help me on my content. Like literally, that's how it comes off in my head, even though I know obviously you get exposure from it and things like that, which is great, and that's definitely a big bonus for me. But yeah, no, it's definitely it's an interesting one for sure. I'm gonna switch up the topic here. What life-changing event have you experienced?
Ever?
Ever? Anything?
I mean, aside from when like my anxiety really hit me, because that was certainly life changing. I think I'd have to say, moving out to Colorado was a very big thing for me. Because prior to that, I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. I had always wanted to move to the West Coast. I had always wanted to just like be somewhere other than where I grew up. I didn't realize what the rest of the country was. I grew up in the metropolitan area of the United States, which is like a very condensed. Anytime you go over a town line, there's another town. There's so many people, so many schools. It's so concentrated with people. When I drove across the country to Colorado, that was my first kind of wake up call, was realizing there's a lot of places in this country you could live and not be near anyone or anything else. And growing up in a town like that, well, how do you ever leave? That's why, there are the issues that there are in this country. But I was, for one, very fortunate to grow up where I did. And two, definitely felt like my place is in more populated areas like cities, like the metropolitan area, stuff like that. Which was a big realization for me, who thought, I don't know what I thought before. I don't know if I thought I could live in the countryside. I don't know if I thought I need to live in a city. I don't know if but I knew I wanted to go on the West Coast. And I also saw that their attitude was very different, where here in the East Coast, like I said, we're kind of like sharks. We always have to be moving. I feel fulfilled in life when I'm working toward a goal and seeing progress towards that. And something I noticed in an attitude out there was that like it's kind of more about preserving life. Our goal is to keep things the way they are, which is good, but maintain that lifestyle. It's not really shooting for anything bigger. It's not about growing. It's not about working towards something big. It's just about upholding the way of life. And there is something respectable about that, in finding happiness and not always needing more. I mean, we're very greedy. I'm not saying that, my attitude towards life or the way that I feel fulfilled is necessarily a morally correct thing, but it's just too hard ingrained in me to ever get away from. And I recognize that. And so that was a huge experience for me to realize, one, what makes me happy in life, and two, realize where I should be and that I need to be working towards something. Which is why I'm very happy for this. It's very measurable to say that, I see the growth in the streams. I see the growth in community. I see the support that I have. And this too has been all around very much changing for my mindset. The streaming and all of that, and having a community finally, because for one, a lot of the kind of content that I wanted to create, was dependent on having other people who would participate and who I could speak to. And I knew that just had to wait until I had some kind of audience. And having people now, gives me a lot of freedom in what I do, which is definitely a big confidence boost in terms of the content creation, but also a big confidence boost in just that I'm doing something that is worth watching. And I've managed to garner such a caring community, as much as they get a little out of pocket sometimes. They are truly they keep it very real with me, like I keep it with them. And they are very honest and very supportive. And, I just, that's been a huge confidence boost to me. Not to mention, they compliment me a lot, which is pretty cool. But I don't think highly of myself. And before I even started streaming, I could not stand to hear my voice. when someone would take a video on like even like Instagram or Snapchat, I would just stay quiet because I didn't want to hear my voice in the recordings. And overcoming that when I started streaming, listening to my recordings was just like, no, please, I can't edit this. I need someone else to edit this. And I've overcome that now and gotten enough compliments on my voice to realize whether or not I hate it, you guys don't. So like, I guess I'll keep talking, just chewing your ear off here. But you know, it's been also partly the most fulfilling thing I've done, like streaming. That is because of the support I've seen from other people and from my community. And I've made very real friends, and more than that, from it. You know, I've met people like my girlfriend who is in chat. If you didn't know this, Bren, is Jamsey. You might not have known that, but
No.
she's been very supportive. She's not the only one, but she's been so much more supportive than I ever expected anyone to be, especially to someone who you've met online, who was a complete stranger, and just like to believe in them as a person and try to connect with them and, you know, support them in that way. And like, she knows the most important thing for me in my life, in my career right now, you know, is like streaming and working towards this career goal. And she has been there for every moment of it and always makes such a concerted effort to show up. And so do a lot of people. Fucking Earl in chat here hasn't missed a goddamn second of any of my streams either. So I'll give you a little shout out for that, Earl. But yeah, I mean, I never expected to really meet people or have people who believe so much in me, or could figure out how to show support in a way that matters so much to me. So that might be a little hint for you guys out there. Maybe I'm giving away too much, but yeah, the way to my heart is definitely support my stream. But yeah.
I did not know that. And
Well,
here's
then
me,
the more you know, Bren.
Here's me thinking I'm great at research, and you just got me. As you saw
You
my
are pretty
face.
great at research. I don't know how you figured out so much, but
I thought so there was an inclination. There was a little bit of an inclination. I didn't know for sure, and I didn't want to be inappropriate and say anything, and so that's why I didn't know for sure. I missed the stream where there was the reveal, as Iggy's saying. So I did not see that VOD.
Yeah.
What's it called? However, Jamsey, I just want to remind you, Andy caressed my face a couple times today.
Bren, are you trying to get me in trouble?
And I will also add, every single time Andy has ever caressed my face, it's been in the exact same T-shirt as he's wearing right now, which is about the third or fourth time, I think. Which is just kind of red.
The Bren shirt.
Yeah, it's a Bren shirt, exactly. Which is kind of funny. Well, very happy for you as well.
Well, thank you, Bren.
And I mean, hey.
I don't know who your girlfriend is, Bren.
Sorry?
I know who your girlfriend is, Bren. Are they in chat?
No, she is not currently because she is at work. She might be getting a break soon, so we might have a appearance of the lovely Allegra. Wow, Brendan's the worst side chick ever. Fully just snitched.
Hobo, he blew the cover right away. He didn't keep it for a second.
Oh my goodness. But as far as that, hey, you might not physically want your own kids, but you have.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
a child in your life. It's not. The thing is, it's not yours though. You know what I mean? Like it's the responsibility is not on you in that sense. In my personal opinion, I'm Jamsey. I'm sorry if I'm offending here.
Oh, but of course I'm going to support someone I care about.
Of course,
anything
yes.
that's involved in their life. So,
Exactly.
but I also don't think this shout out is exclusive because I must say for my mods who I know are here in chat, you guys also have amazed me with the support. I just like the amount of time that the mods have to dedicate, and you know this better than anyone, Bren. I know we agree on this. The amount of times, like the amount of time that the mods have to dedicate. Fucking, if Mello's in chat right now, she has been one of my mods for the longest, along with a few others, but has bought like the hours for my stream have been like every single hour of it. Like I don't even know. The time that they dedicate, just I don't know, out of the goodness of their heart to support what I'm doing, to be a part of the community, for nothing but thank yous and a few laughs, hopefully. I mean, I'm not that funny, but I just have to say, like, thank you to my mods who someday I will, I hope to also make this a full-time thing so I can pay my mods and pay back some of all the good they've done. So thank you guys for that dedication to a total stranger. You guys are on the same hours that I am, and I know how much time that takes out of your day.
Definitely can agree to that. I mean, I've seen, I think, every single one of your mods top in today at least once and say hi.
Oh, yeah.
And I think is definitely relatable. We've talked quite a bit about how Who Are You is and how intensive it is and the little details the mods, not me, the mods have to put in the effort to make sure that looks as good and as clean as it does. And I'm very fortunate, and same as you, is I think I would love to be able to one day be able to kind of do the same and pay them back for the time that they've done for you. Even though I've heard multiple times, no, we're here to like support you, sort of thing. Like, as much as I appreciate that, I would love to be able to give something back because of how much they've given me, and I don't know if they know how much they have, and if they do, I hope so. But maybe they're paid back in bugging me, but they are so lovely and so amazing, and I'm so fortunate to have them in my life, both on stream and off stream, as well. I can definitely relate with that. Moving on to the next topic here. What is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
The best piece of advice.
You're doing great, Bren.
That's a tough one. Because, I've got a lot of things that like I try to live my life by, but I don't necessarily know who told them to me or, how I got to them. I don't ask for a lot of advice, I guess, also, because like I said, I don't really like to ask for help much. There's definitely been things in there about like not giving up and believing in yourself and all that, but like, I don't know. I mean, I think something I really live my life by is like treating people the way that you want to be treated. I wouldn't call that advice, and I don't know who told it to me, but is that okay to speak about? Does that work?
Oh, totally.
Okay. Because like, that's something I hold very close to my heart in everything that I do. I always, as a kid, was like nice to people. I couldn't understand why they weren't nice back, because it was like, why would you treat anyone any other way than the way, like, how can you expect anyone to return, something other than what you give them? And I think that's the way that you should treat people. It's given me a lot of empathy in life, which isn't always a good thing, because then like when your friend's crying, you're crying too. But, but I just think that if you want to be treated kindly and always received well and received with positivity, you can't bring anything else but that to other people. I don't think connections with other people. I said the name again. Drink. I don't think connections to other people are ever one-sided in that way. You can't be just like, bringing nothing but negativity and expect them to bring their positivity to you. And you can't, be mean to someone and expect them to bring their kindness to you. And, if you set that example in friendships and relationships and everything else, except maybe your parents, because, like, I don't know, I was an asshole to them. They've been assholes to me. And yet, like, when I'm an asshole, they're nice to me. And when they're assholes, sometimes I'm, like, understanding or whatever. But in most cases, you gotta just give what you want to get back. And that's something I believe fully comes around. I believe fully that, there is some type of karma in that if you put in the effort, it will be given back. And if you put in the kindness to someone, they will give it back. Maybe not in the same way. And that's also something you have to take into account too. Is people who, like, I don't know, like, say you give someone a gift for Christmas and they don't give you one, and they think, oh, I haven't received that back. But maybe, the next time you really need a favor, or maybe the way that they show they care about someone is different. And it doesn't always look the same from people, but I think you'll find that if you're really kind to someone, it is unlikely they'll truly be unkind to you back.
I think kindness goes a long way. I agree with you on that. I think the kindness goes further than some will see. I will say, as far as what I learned from the, like, where you're saying treat others how you want to be treated. I learned that as a young age, but I also learned something recently in the past couple of years, and it totally changed my mindset, which was strange because the first time it really like messed with my mindset of how I thought about that. Because I mean, I think everyone is taught treat others how you want to be treated, like you said. Like, I think that's very commonly said. Those who live by it, maybe not as much as others, and I think you kind of live by a little more than others. But I got something that switched my mindset, and it was treat others how they want to be treated. And I thought it was an interesting kind of spin on that, because you and I might treat each other in a way of positivity, like you said, in a nice, positive way, and of course, kindness. That's how I want to be treated, and right, and I want to be treated with that, with a respect until I maybe do something to lose it, and then that's in that point, then that's on me to gather that again. And it's been something that's changed my perspective on so many things. And there is sometimes where people don't want to have me, this ADHD ridden kid who's blurbing off their ear in their ear. You know what I mean? Like, and like you know what I mean? Like, there's sometimes where they want me just to sit in silence and hang out with them. And that's been something I've had to learn. It's been something that's very interesting for me to learn, because I've never thought of it that way until like the last couple of years. And I know it's a whenever I hear that quote, like treat others how you want to be treated, I always think about that again, of treat others how they want to be treated. And I mean, it's not a far spin-off, but it's just a different way of looking at it, and maybe in a different kind of perspective. But it's definitely a very, it's an interesting one. It's a really interesting one.
I think your spin-off isn't necessarily something that I haven't taken into account. I don't necessarily mean like, and I'm sure that's not what you meant by it, but also just like, I don't necessarily mean like, oh, if you're someone who loves hugs, hug everyone. It's like,
Yeah.
if you're someone who likes to be shown some sort of great kindness upon being greeted, then, figure out what great kindness looks like to someone else and show that to them upon greeting them. It definitely has to suit the person. I mean, you can't force your own ideals on someone else. That definitely wouldn't be considered treating someone with kindness. But no, you're totally right. And Bren, I knew from the moment I met you, you're someone who shared that ideal.
100%. And yeah, I think it's always been respect from you in the senses, and I, of course, I really think it goes both ways. Is I think there's been a very high mutual respect for each other, and I mean, it shows. I think that's why we work really well, you and I together, in that kind of sense, as a friendship and kind of this creator kind of workmanship, if you will. Which leads me to my next question, kind of in a weird way. How happy are you right now?
I would say right now I'm very happy. And that's not something I can always say. For sure. In the last year, it's definitely been some struggles, I think, for all of us, because COVID changed a lot. I mean, I can't tell you how derailed I felt when COVID first happened. I was in kind of a different place in life, just that I was fully immersed in school. When I came to school, I had dated someone. I pretty much almost immediately started dating someone for the first 2.5 years I was in college, and that was a mistake, let me tell you. But just because I didn't take the time to like make the real friends that I should have, because we just spent all our time with the only person we knew, which was each other. But anyway, when COVID happened, I had just gotten out of that relationship. I had been going out a lot with friends in New York City, and New York City shut the hell down, as did a lot of places, and all of that stopped. A lot of people went back to their hometowns. A lot of, for many, many months, restaurants and bars and stuff wouldn't let people in. Like, everything kind of fell apart, and all of a sudden, this community I was involved in, the few friends I had, it all just fell apart, and I kind of felt very lost, very depressed. It was very tough to meet people, tough to see what would become of life, or if I would be happy with my career now, just looking at it in kind of a different perspective. Um, and that was definitely a tough time for certainly not just myself, many of us. But we worked through that time, and now I feel like I am, my efforts are finally coming back to me, and that I'm seeing the stream grow. I'm connecting with more and more people every day. I said it again, drink. Um, Connecting with more and more people, and having, just new memories all the time, new experiences, having friends to share those with, both IRL and online. Um, Mitch, love you too.
Hi, Mitch.
See, another one of the persons I've connected with because of Bren. So thanks for that, Bren, because Mitch is awesome and Pugs is awesome, and I've even talked with Mango. I told Mans I want to be on her game show, so we'll see about that. But anyway, well, her boyfriend's game show. But
yes, I mean she's a co-producer.
Is she? Oh, I didn't know that. Because on his channel. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked. I'm very happy right now because I'm seeing a return on my efforts. I'm seeing the growth and the support and the appreciation of so many wonderful people, meeting people, having people both in person and online to connect with. That's not to say there isn't stress on me. I'm finishing school this year, and that's been tough. Also, the perspective of getting out on my own in life is tough. Getting older is never easy. But I'm happy to be working almost every day on something that I absolutely love with every fiber of my being, connecting with people who are wonderful, like yourself and my community, having met wonderful people, which, like my girlfriend, who I'm not a long distance person, Bren, but I'm still just couldn't be happier, honestly.
He's got some distance.
Yeah, but it's all right. And it's a good time right now. Good things coming. Good time in life. Perhaps some stress coming up, but we're gonna just think about right now and be happy with that.
Good. That's good. I'm glad you're happy.
How about
Nick.
you, Brenton? Are you happy right now?
Right now? Yes. I'm really excited. I think that's where a lot of the reason for the happiness is right now is I'm really happy for kind of what's coming up. I love Christmas, as you can see. And that also means my birthday, which is 2 days after Christmas on the 27th.
I have a few more days than that, but yes.
Yeah, and so like the thing is that part of that side of things like really excites me. I also get to meet one of my closest friends that I made this journey, B, who's coming to live with me on my birthday for a week. And so like that's really exciting. I will say last week was tough. Mentally actually okay, which was surprising, but I think I had a bit of a struggle kind of in personal things of kind of feeling like I was falling behind on everything a little bit. Which I know you and I have actually kind of talked about a little bit about the kind of the school mainly is kind of where you kind of felt that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely relatable in a lot of terms for I think a lot of people is and I think that it's that New York mentality I think you kind of talked about today, and I'm kind of understanding that a little bit more. And maybe there's a little bit more New York in the West Coast boy than I thought. But
yeah, keep swimming, Bren. We gotta keep swimming or we'll die.
Exactly. and that was so relatable to me because I think I pushed myself to the point where I can't stop. And Donovan can confirm this is when we finished Who Are You, after the day after, I like to take a break from everything. No promotion, no nothing, just relax or try to, I should say. But on the first episode of Who Are You, the day after, I had that time to literally do nothing. I didn't have to work. I didn't have to do anything. and I was literally working on Who Are You stuff, and Donovan messaged me in the middle of me watching the VOD and goes, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Nothing." And he's like, "You're doing something for the stream, aren't you?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "Yes, I know you are." And I was like, "Hey, I stopped. Fine, I stopped. It's fine." And he's like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "You serious?" And I was like, "100%." And he's like, "Promise?" I was like, "Yes." So, like, it's that feeling of, and it's funny because I sat there for the rest of the day not knowing what to do, but but as far as like being happy, yes, 100% right now, yes. The last week was a little bit kind of iffy, just kind of feeling a little bit lost and kind of what's next, but I've kind of figured out what I want to do next, especially in this content creation journey. And I mean, things we'll talk about off stream and stuff like that too, of including you in, and also things that I would like to do in, as far as forever. And I know we talked briefly about this, is about kind of YouTube and YouTube creation. And that's something that I think is kind of where you might start seeing my content ending up after it ends up on stream, more in a kind of a higher state, and getting a little bit more YouTube friendly, if you will. And so I think that's kind of where my thing, but I think the lead up of not knowing what's next scares the shit out of me. And I, now that I found it, I'm like, okay, we're good. But it was that kind of minutes of, oh my goodness, I can't come up with another idea. Is this it? Am I done? But we're good. We're good. Appreciate you for asking that back.
Of course. I mean, you've answered most of them without me asking, which is just my brain like shutting off. Because otherwise, in all courtesy, I would ask you everything back, Bren.
Okay.
But I wasn't taking chance you wouldn't answer this one. I gotta know how you're doing, Bren.
Fair enough. You talked a lot about this past year being kind of tough with kind of COVID and stuff like that. And so my question to you is, what is the hardest thing that you've had to overcome this past year?
The hardest thing I've had to overcome. I mean, it's just hard to name one thing. I'd probably say dealing with not physically getting out and being super social. Despite the fact that I am quite a shy person. Probably no one believes that, but I am actually quite shy in person. I really am someone who, like, before, I would have just always been out. I've been the person that, like, never wants to be at home because I feel like I'm not using my time well, or I've been so uncomfortable with just being alone with myself and finding some way to, entertain myself. Like, I know back when I was like 18, it was like I would go to work and I would hang out with people right after work, and I would be home for maybe the few hours to sleep if I even went home to do that. And this last year, we've all become much more homebound because of quarantine and all of that. And, I still found this way to connect with people through Twitch and Discord and everything else. And to be honest with you, as much as I could tell from the start I wanted to make content creation something that would be a career for me, I didn't start this with an attitude of like, this has to be my career, like I have to make something out of it. I started with the attitude that like, I'm just going to try this and see where it goes. See if I like it, see if I, who I meet from this. And honestly, what I really hope I find from it is friends, and like a chance to connect with people from my own home and people who might be anywhere. And, I definitely found that. I mean, in such real friends and people that I've met online. I have to say, before this, I've always played a lot of video games, but I always played single player games. I never played games with people. It really just wasn't my thing. And when I started doing all this, I started, we're always in Discord. We're playing games with people. We're gaming, and all of this has become a very social thing for me. And that's been a huge social outlet that has helped me be more comfortable with the time that I spend alone or by myself or at home. And to me, that's kind of a huge step in a lot of ways. Although, maybe not everyone would look at it more positively because I guess some could think I'm more introverted since I stay at home more. But I look at it as just being more comfortable with myself and with being alone. And I think that we all need to have that ability,
Mm-hmm. For sure. I agree. I think it's weird going from somewhere where, like you said, like you can go out and you go hang out with friends after work or something like that, and then you go to literally where you cannot go hang out with anyone because it's not safe to do so. Like literally, like
Yeah.
it's so strange. And definitely gaming, I think, became a huge outlet for a lot of people because it was an easy way to still hang out with friends. But like for me, this connection started because games got boring and I wanted some way to still connect with either friends or make new ones because I wasn't doing either. I was alone, would probably be the best way to put it. I had, of course, my awesome family and my lovely girlfriend, but it's it's that sink or swim, that type of feeling. And I felt like I was thinking in that point, and that like not meeting anyone was weird to me and very scary, and I became very uncomfortable with my being alone with myself. I will say is throughout this journey, I've gotten a lot more comfortable with myself. And I think that's because as a content creator, there's a lot of times where you're sitting there by yourself editing and you got to be comfortable with yourself really. And like you said, watching yourself, your voice, things like that. Like those are things that I've had to overcome too, which is very like, ugh, to me too. Like, but when you're the only one having to watch them, obviously like I get my team to watch them after I'm done, like my edits and stuff like that. It's still like really like, oh, I just don't like that. Like it's just, ugh. And so, yeah, no, I can definitely relate with that one for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I think I also just found that this was something, part of the reason like I said, I didn't know if I would like it when I started. And part of the reason I found I do love it is because it hinges on interacting with people. And that's what I love.
Mhm.
I mean, so it just at the heart of it is the thing that I love most, which was always interacting with people.
Agreed. Connections is a
Shy as I am, but yeah.
As I've said before, Connections is a passion project more than anything. Like for me, it's something I adore doing. Like, and someone asked me recently. Actually, I know who it was, and I'll tell you after stream who it was because you do know this person. Asked me if I'd ever stop Connections, and I said not a chance. Not right in the state that it's in currently. No, I have no plans to ever stop Connections or replace Connections in any sense. There would be things obviously I'll bring on and improve and stuff like that, but removing it completely, no. This is my baby. I love this show so much because I've gotten to meet so many amazing people because of it. So yeah, no, it's not a shot. But yeah, kind of going on to we're getting to the final stuff here, but I'm interested here. Now we've learned quite a bit more about you. At least I have.
I think everyone has. We get pretty wholesome on my stream, but I don't really share about deep issues.
So we've talked about your parents. We've talked about your connection a little bit with your parents. We've talked about exes. We've also talked about newfound love. We've also talked about new friends and things like that. So my question to you is, what does love mean to you?
You really do ask the tough ones, Bren. You know, in terms of what it physically is, oh my God, wait, Posh is in your chat right now, and the first podcast I ever actually did was with her. And she asked me, it was all about what is love. What is love? Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Posh. Good to see you. Can we get a shout out for Posh in chat, please?
I don't even know if my answers are going to be the same, but no, that's okay, Posh. I think in terms of to other people, it is being just their ultimate support, like their ultimate partner, in that anything they do, and anything you can figure out that they need support in life, you do your best to provide. Everyone struggles with different things. Everyone's different, so there's no black and white way to say what it is, for those people. But I think you really just have to be the supporting role to your partner's life. Not to say that you should put your own life to the side for that, but that, like in my example, like it wasn't really so far from a joke to say that supporting the stream was kind of, a way to my heart, because it definitely was, for Faith, because like that's what's important to me. That's where I'm putting all my efforts towards a career in life and everything else. And to see that supported is where I need that support, is where I need that confidence boost, and that, that little bit of extra to say that I feel like I'm making something good that people want to watch, that like is just, I don't know, like valuable, It's valuable to me, and for it to be valuable to them too, for them to take a true vested interest in it, is like, like being supportive of others' passions to me is like a love language for me. But for everyone else, it, may be different. And I think the other aspect of love and what that is something I picked up from seeing my parents, is that I think love is really about working with each other. I think the reason something like my parents' marriage can work for as long as it has is because they, they both are willing to adapt to each other. If there's an issue, it's always about working it out. There's never an option for it not to be worked out. It's always just what's it going to take to work it out. And I think, partly it's like looking at it as like, you can't just leave a marriage, but it's also like with anything, you have to be willing to work with someone. You have to know you love that person and you care about that person, and you're going to do whatever it takes to make that work. And just walking away isn't an option, because you've got that reason to care about someone. That's for better or for worse in relationships I've had in my life, because I'm very much like, once I realize or decide, or like, not like decide's not the right word, but once I know I feel strongly about someone, then it's just like that they're it. Like you're not ruining that. That's extremely hard to ruin for me. Like whatever happens, we're gonna work it out for the most part. I mean, there are exceptions, but for the most part, we're gonna work it out, because I have my reason to care about you, and you're not gonna change that by, like, I don't know, insulting me once or something like that. It's I mean, yeah, that's what love is to me. It's, it's realizing that you and your partner have a reason to care about each other in the way that you do, and working out anything that comes from that, and being the ultimate supporting role to their life, and showing them the kind of care that they desire to see, that makes them feel good and makes them feel happy. Yeah,
Like that a
Yeah.
lot. Man,
Thanks.
that was well put, very well put. And yeah, I think the support thing is key. And I mean, content creation as desired career at least, is very difficult, because we wake up every single day and maybe people don't care about us anymore, and that's scary thought to have as a
I think that every day.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think a lot of people do, is it's terrifying. Kind of to think like that is very, very scary. We have one question. We have another question here from the lovely Malty, who's changed.
Malty, when did you change your
Who just changed his name in
Did
the
you change
middle?
it like midstream?
Midstream, yeah.
I'm like, who is Mall Station? How do they have my emote? I clicked it and I saw Malty's profile picture, and I'm like, wait, what?
Malty asks, if there's one single thing that you'd like the viewers to take away from tonight and still remember in 10 years, what would that be? And would you add something to it?
Okay, if there's one thing, I want it to be to never settle on your career, and to find what you love in life and find a way to make your living from that. You absolutely, I think the most important and most key thing to happiness in life is loving what you do. And I know a lot of people who are working jobs they don't love because they feel like they have to. It might be hard to get out of that and find your way to something you can be happy in, but I think there should be hardly any other important goal in life than finding a career you're happy with, because we all, unfortunately, have to pay to live. And if we're going to have to work to make that pay, then you got to love what you do. Because I always hated the idea of a 5-day work week in a 7-day week. You're telling me that in life we're supposed to work away the majority of our week, have 2 days a week, what is that, 8 days a month, and maybe 5 is one of those weird ones, but 8 days a month that are really all to yourself. That's not, our lives are too short for that. Every day should be for you. And by that token, your career should be something that is for you, something that you love and feel fulfilled by, and never have to dread a day of, because you're going to spend a lot of time there. And it's funny because I always see like the TikToks that are like, I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, so I started my own business, and now I work 24/7. And I put in a lot of hours here. I think my parents probably think, I don't do nearly as much work for streaming as you would with, like, I don't know, like a job. But it's like, I'm putting in the hours. In stream hours alone, we're here like 25 to 30 hours a week. Well, not like 30, 20. It's like around 25 to 22 hours a week. But anyway, and then there's all the hours off stream. And you know that quite well, Brandon, I'm sure. There's always something that can be done. There's always more to do. The work never stops, but that doesn't bother me for a second. If I'm working on this all day from the second I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I'm feeling nothing but good about it. And there's people enjoying it and appreciating it, and it just is so completely fulfilling that the 8 or 7 hours I'd spend in an office at the one full-time photo gig I had sucked. And if I spend twice as much that time working on stream stuff, I'm not going to hate that. I'm just going to feel good about how much people like it after, if hopefully they like it.
It's really fair. Yeah, no, I think is you definitely got to be happy with what you're doing, because you're spending a lot of time doing it. And I mean, there's a reason why I do this once a week, like, or once or twice a week, is because like, I don't think people realize how much time goes into streaming with really great content. I'll put it that way. Because because I think there is a lot of things that people don't account for it. Like, a lot of people just go and start stream. And I mean, you can do that, but the growth is going to be,
I don't know how.
the growth is going to be very difficult, and that's one of the hardest things. And I think as far as that is, growth is really, it would be almost impossible to do with streams that stay this same consistent. People want to see something different. The attention span of people are so fast. Like, when I pause there, people are probably like, oh my god, what can I do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so quick, where you have to do something different. You can't come on the same sort of thing every single day. I'm lucky that I have new guests with different perspectives every single week, or this really wouldn't work. If it was me talking to the same person over and over every single week, this probably would not work, in theory. Like, and I think as far as that is there's more that we do off stream than we do on stream. And it's so weird to think that, like, I would say probably 90% of what happens is behind the scenes, where no one sees anything. It's almost like the magic of, like, okay, look at this.
Well, that's the showmanship, Brent.
I guess. And so I don't know. It's so interesting to me, for sure. We're moving on. Our final question. Question, because I see the chat is all now talking about your door frames and how tall you are, which I can confirm. I know this from the pre-stream thing. 7'3". So
thank you, Bren. See, even Bren says
I lie to you guys?
Please stop debating it. Ray is right. I'm 7'3". Source, trust me, bro. Just stop questioning it. Guys, come on now. We're getting wholesome here.
Yeah.
Let's rein it in.
Yes. Andy towers over me as I am 4'1". Yes. Don't trust him about height. Yeah, really. Alrighty.
I'm sorry, Ion. You're right. King. Thank you, Faith.
Faith left and came back just to confirm.
She did. She's
See,
a real one.
support.
For that.
We were talking
I
about
told you the whole
support.
time.
We're saying
She's so
support.
real.
We're saying support. There we go.
So fucking supportive. Thank you, Faith. Thank you.
So, this final question is one of my favorite. It's been asked to every single guest that has been on here from the new kind of updated stream, I should say. But and it comes up with some amazing things, and you have given some amazing insights throughout today's stream. So I'm sure this will be no different. Not to put any more pressure on you as well, but I will say though, is if you guys haven't already, !enter, get yourself in the giveaway. We're giving away a $10 Steam, PlayStation Store, Xbox Store gift card in the Discord after the stream. So make sure you're there. I'll remind you one more time, and I'll show you guys in a second here. But as for our last and final question for you today, Andy, is if you wrote a book about your life up to now, what would the final line say?
The final line would say that there's nothing more important in life than happiness, and that anyone and everyone deserves to find happiness and can find happiness. Because the number one thing I get from people if I tell them that is that they don't think they deserve that happiness, or they don't think they can find that happiness. I know that they can. I know that they deserve it, because none of the people who have ever told me that have been bad people. They're people who have had a lot of misfortune in life and feel like that's just not in the cards for them. But I firmly believe everyone can find it. Everyone should find it. I think there's no greater purpose in life than making yourself happy. And that sounds selfish, but it's not like that. It's just that is our purpose as people. You know, we should enjoy our lives. We should not settle for a life of comfort over happiness. And that's the biggest thing I see, like with what I was talking about when I said if there's one thing I want you to walk away from, which I feel like those questions are kind of similar. But if there's one thing I want you to walk away from is don't settle for a job you hate because it's comfortable, because you feel like, oh, it's paying the bills and I don't know if any other job would, or I don't want to, learn to do a new thing, or like have to deal with new coworkers and junk. Like don't settle for that. There's way more unhappiness that comes from that. People are scared of change, myself included, but you have to step out there and put yourself out there to find something better. And so that's just the number one thing I always tell people. I'm always like, do you like your job? And, someone will be like, no, but it pays the bills. I'm like, why are you working it? And they're like, what do you mean? It just said it pays the bills. I'm like, no, why would you work that? Like, what? Get a new job. I don't know. That probably sounds just overprivileged to some people, but I know I have found in the smallest things ways to find workplaces that you can be happy. Whether that's finding a place with more positive coworkers, finding a career that is closer to what you love, or a friend of mine who works like 3 different jobs, all for like probably very little hours each, but like, it's not like he doesn't have the craziest schedule in the world, but he always works in something that he loves. It's like in the winter, he'll be teaching snowboard lessons. And in the summer, he'll be, I don't have a good example, but like working at a golf course. That's not actually what he does, but you know what I mean. He just works in his passions. And I think that is really admirable and a really great way to go about life and accepting the fact that you have to work to live. And, we're all chasing our dreams out here. I mean, I want to do content creation full time, and not everyone I meet on Twitch wants that, which is interesting. And even you and I have spoken a little bit about the difference in that, which is surprising to me, but it's a perspective that I don't know because it's so wholly what I want. But yeah.
For sure. Well, chat, please spam that love. because this has been the amazing, the wonderful, the lovely Andyrighteous on Connections. Amazing. Lovely.
Thank you so much to everyone who came out here from Bren's community and who didn't even know me, for whoever's been here from Bren's community and from my community for actually showing up. I promoted this as much as I could. You guys blew everyone's minds at the game show. I'm serious. They were talking about it. We were talking about it after stream, how you guys are literally insane, and I love you. So thank you to everyone who came out and supported this. It has been a lot of fun talking with you, Bren. This has been a great podcast. I don't think my own podcast goes so smooth, but I've only done one so far. And the fact that you do one of these a week, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. But incredible, Bren. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, this is usually the part of the stream where I give you the time to shout things out. So you beat me to the punch. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to give you the thing here, but in a moment. I see that Multi is helping me spam out that the guest link there. Please continue on that, Multi. And if you haven't already, please go follow Andy on it. You are investing in Andy. I will tell you it's a smart investment. Don't invest in Brencoin, invest in Andy. One, because one isn't real, and the other was very much real. You will not regret it. Go and see it. If you guys haven't already, !enter, get in the giveaway. We're giving away a $10 gift card. I would love to give it to you. And if you would be interested, we'd love to get to know you in the Discord. So if you have time, please, we'd love to meet you. Discord, come and join us. But Andy, this is the part of the show where I give you the floor, and you can shout out whoever and whatever you would like as I find us a raid. And I think it's only appropriate, the raid, that we find someone who we've never met before, considering you and I met through a raid. I think it's too perfect. So we're going to try and see if we can meet someone, but I'll give you the floor here as I go and look.
All right. Well, I've said it many times tonight, but I just got to say thank you to all of the wonderful people that I have met on Twitch for the support and the way that this has changed my life, the outlet that this has given me, the creative outlet that this has become, and the way it feels like this. And you know, my parents haven't given me a lot of recognition, but the little they've given me when they've looked at some of the stuff I put together for my stream, they've said, this really seems like your world. And I agree with that 100%. It feels like my world. The people I've met, I could never have expected to meet real, wonderful people, caring people through this. I thought, you know, maybe there'll be some people who hang out when I play games, but I've made real friends. I've met someone I call my girlfriend now. I have mods who are there for every hour of my streams to get like my friendship? I don't know. And I can't be thankful enough for that. You know, it's filled a space in my life for socialization. It has fulfilled me in sense of a career path and lots of other things. And so the support I've seen from everyone, and Belak, I'll never stop. The support I've seen from everyone else, and even the new people I meet every day on Twitch, and from you, Bren, for saying you believe in me the way you do, means so much to me. I never thought of this stuff coming to be, and yet I'm so excited to have been a part of the things that you've brought me on to, Bren, and to see the way that all of this is growing. So thanks everyone again for being here, and thanks, Bren. And hopefully we meet someone else in the raid who is just as wonderful, and we can grow this community.
Really though, exactly. I'm still looking here. I've got a couple potential candidates, but I haven't gotten one that I'm set on just yet. This one looks like it might be the one. Hang on, let me just look around here.
Just keep thanking the academy, you know. I want to thank my parents. Just kidding. No. Posh is Posh. Oh, Belak, is Posh live? I mean, that depends on if Bren has figured it out already.
I didn't have one. If this one's a bust,
okay,
we're going to Posh.
Okay. Fair enough. Earl, no, actually, I will be streaming on my channel after this, guys. But I don't want to self promo too much in here.
So for our guests, go follow so you get the notification in a second.
I do stream 4 days a week. Come through. I'll love you each personally.
Give me one second. I'm just gonna quickly mute for one second for you for one second
no
here, just
worries.
because I want to make sure this is content that's gonna be okay for me to send you guys. Give me 1 sec. I just want to see here. You are muted right now. All right, I think we found our person, and I've wanted to do it to someone who maybe needs a little more exposure. It's something that really is I love to see, and so I think what an amazing 2 communities that we have here that will do that, and hopefully we'll blend into one. Hopefully, and you'll hang out with us for a little bit longer, and we'll go hang out in Andy's stream as well. I think you guys are going to adore the content he does, because I personally do. We're gonna go raid someone who's new, and just much like those of you who were around for when Andy was raided, that's very near and dear to my heart. Is bringing in someone to the community. If you haven't already, please make sure that you go and you enter into the giveaway too. If you haven't already, I'm just gonna pop up the thing here on the desktop here. If you see your name on here, see your names. If your name is not on there, I need you to put ! Enter right now. Because if not, I can't give you things for free. So make sure you do ! Enter. Get yourself in the giveaway. I want to make sure that you guys are all in there if you have things. 60 tickets is probably one of the highest I think we've ever had for people in there, which is obviously combined of the subs and that. But you guys are so nuts and amazing. If your name is not on there, make sure ! Enter.
Put ! Enter. Just do it again anyway. Does it double up then?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, do it again to be safe. All right, guys. You want free stuff? Get free stuff, because I ruined your chance for a free sub because I'm slow-brained. I take tests slow, but there was no extra time on this test.
I will say though is thank you to everyone who came out here. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. It has been an absolute pleasure getting to meet you today, Andy. An absolute pleasure to spend some time with your community. Brax, no one said a free sub. What's it called?
Brax is amazing.
Brax, stop! Oh, Freddy. Oh, that's
there
so
you go.
great.
There you go.
We were speaking about Freddy earlier. Oh, Freddy, if you're in here, enjoy the gifted sub there from Brax. Brax, you've been too amazing. Thank you so much. I hope you guys carry this same amazingness that you guys have done for into what? No, Posh, no, don't raid me. Posh, I'm about to leave. You guys are so amazing. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
hi everyone.
Well, Posh. Okay. Oh my god.
So
what's up,
hi.
Posh?
This is not how it works. Hi,
what's
Irish
up,
buddies.
Posh's community. You guys are here for the best raid out ever.
You're about to double raid with us. I want to say thank you. For those of you that just joined, we are doing a giveaway right now. If you'd like to, we'd love to have you guys a part of the giveaway. I know you guys are probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But
free stuff for the wonderful raiders. !
Enter is all you need to do to get in there. We were literally about to type raid. So I'm sorry that you guys do it. However, we do this every Tuesday. And maybe a creator that you watch, like Posh Triangle, wink, wink, might possibly be in here in the possible future. I don't know. I'm just saying. So maybe you want to hit follow, because in a certain point in time, you might need to be here. I'm just saying.
Listen. You guys from Posh's community know me. Don't doubt this man for a second. He makes the best content I've ever seen. Drop him a follow.
But your time is more than enough. If more than anything, you guys have stopped in for 2 seconds and joined the Posh raid. First off, Posh is an amazing creator. I had the pleasure to meet her briefly the other day, and oh my goodness. Do ! Enter and into the Discord and win a $10 gift card. Yes, ! Enter is all you gotta do. You need to be in the Discord, because I cannot give I'm not gonna go find you. I'm sorry, but I need you in there. You guys are too sweet. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Flim Flam Flem. We are about to raid out. We're gonna go raid out a someone who I think really deserves it. Someone who's got, from what I'm seeing, an amazing quality of content. For those of you, just to pop it up one last time, since we got a bunch of new raiders in here. If you see your name on here, You are good. If you do not see your name, I need you to type exclamation mark enter. I see Posh, Wolf, Mitch, Flim Flam, Flem, my favorite name ever. Mr. Brados, Jamsey, Nene, Earl, Iggy, Jay, Donovan, Ace, Andy, Multi, which I don't know, Multi, that's a changed name. I don't know if I can approve that. B, Brax. If your name is not on there, exclamation mark enter. Get your name on here. We're giving away a $10 Steam, PlayStation Store, Xbox Store gift card. I know
Get your free stuff.
I know this is not kind of usually what. Oh, that's my other screen. I know it's not usually what we do. However, if you're coming from the raid, just one thing to kind of see about me. I'll play my usually my intro, but this will be my outro, I guess, for today of what I do here. Enjoy the raid. Thank you to everyone who supported. Thank you.
You're all amazing.
Iggy, Multi, B, Ace, Posh for your raid. You're so amazing. Or to Jamsey. So amazing.
Thank you, everyone, especially Jamsey.
Get those brownie points while you can. Thank you to everyone. Copy the raise message. Throw that raise message. Spread that love to all the other communities. My name is Bren. Go drink some water. For those of you that are new here and maybe you've never seen this, I'm going to run the intro for you. Love you. Peace out. Take care. I hope to see you next Tuesday, or maybe even in Discord when we right after the stream.
He's going to be eating a Lego gingerbread
house. I'm not going to be eating it. I'm going to be making it. I hope you guys will join us on that. Enjoy this, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday, hopefully. Take care, and love you. Peace out.
See you later.
Hi, I'm Bren, and welcome to my channel. I am a Canadian podcaster with a passion to form connections with individuals from all walks of life. On my show Connections, I explore the world through my guests' unique perspectives while gathering an insightful understanding of how they interact and perceive life.
That is a really good question.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question.
That's a great question.
I ask questions that focus on uncovering stories of humble beginnings,
But I was like 13th place out of like 300 kids.
triumphant successes,
I used to swim for the Junior Australian Olympic trial team.
motivations,
I just built up that confidence in myself to say, you know what, fuck it, I don't care.
inspirations,
She was just always, I just always love her.
struggles,
The main thing that got me to where I am today is the bullying that I experienced.
and realizations.
Sometimes you cannot get closure.
My goal is to continue making connections to spark meaningful discussions, and I hope you will join me.